is a Rat alert. Civil defense information will be broadcast at 6:40.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Y2K, how can we prepare?
Stop a few of their machines and radios. Throw them into darkness for a few hours.
We are fighting for our lives. My family must survive.
For 5 years, 1,000 gallons of gas, air filtration, water filtration.
Coming at you from the frozen tundra that is East Central Alberta, Canada. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, and Odyssey. Welcome back to the workshop where we create community, find freedom, promote preparedness, and share success. Today is June the 16th, 2023. I am Toolman Tim, and this is episode 326 of Workshop Radio. How is everybody? Tonight is going to be a fun one. Hey, there's Nate and Aaron. Good to see you both in here. We're going to have fun tonight. I'm looking at nobody right now because you can't tell who's there. But real quick, 2 announcements. Let's get them out of the way, and then let's have some fun, guys. So first off, a good friend of ours. Hey, Jeff Stark. Good to have you. Nicole Sauce is running the Homesteading Starter Pack. It's an online 7-week course. That starts next week. If you go to the link that I've got in the description tonight, I'm not sure if it's in the YouTube channel yet or not, but it will be in the podcast. You can check that out. There's 3 incredible instructors, Nicole, Leos, and Ryan Steva. So check that out. It's going to be good stuff. And number 2, if you didn't see the TikTok the other day, there is a new promo for the Patch of the Month Club. 3 free patches if you sign up for the year. Just click the scratch ticket. And if you don't know why it says promo code scratch ticket, pop on over to either Instagram, check out my reel, or go to TikTok and find out. But that's what we do, guys. When people shit on you, you turn it into money or, bless other people with it. So with that, let's bring up my beautiful co-host. Howdy, Miss Cook. How are you?
Good.
Good. I haven't seen you in ages. Where you been? I haven't seen you since last Friday.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
This was your idea tonight. So if it fails miserably, you know whose fault it is, right?
It's
mine.
Fail.
No. Everybody's been excited. So everybody got their, okay. So for those of you who are, getting pretty excited, what I need you to do right now is to think back toward the 90s, maybe the 80s, put on your Ray-Ban sunglasses. Is that what it would be? Ray-Ban sunglasses, your fanny packs, your acid wash jeans, and your neon pink hat. And think really hard, and we'll see if we can channel our inner 80s spirit. You think we can do that?
And 90s.
And 90s spirit. So let's see what we can do. What do you think it'll work? Let's try it and see what happens. Oh, there we go. Whew. Man, I don't know if anybody likes that or not, but we're going to go back to the 80s, back to the 90s tonight. And I'm sure somebody somewhere will Ready Player One. Yeah, I never done the whole Ready Player One thing, but I hope you guys like this new overlay. The 90s were only 10 years ago, Aaron. And Mrs. Cook asked me to do up something really fancy to look like we were in the 80s or 90s again, didn't you? Yep. So I picked pink and yellow. I hope everybody likes it. And a nice little back to the 80s logo. So we thought we'd start tonight. What do you want to do? A little nostalgia, thinking back, looking back toward a couple of memories or something? So, Mrs. Cook, do you remember your very first TV memory? What do you remember watching? Or what are some of your earliest TV memories? John Dowie forgot. I knew he'd forget. I hadn't heard from him. You're more than welcome to come on later on. We're here, so.
Yeah, or you can log in now or whatever. Honestly, the only TV that we ever watched was TV with my dad.
Right, because your dad kind of...
he was the couch commando. But it was always like if we stayed home from school, it was always Price is Right. That was the one I always watched. And
with Bob Barker, of course.
With Bob Barker.
Yep.
And then it was MASH, A-Team, MacGyver.
Oh, MacGyver, yes.
Cheers.
Oh, okay.
And then do you remember on Sunday nights they used to do
Disney?
The Disney movies.
The Wide World was it The Wide World of Disney, or what was that called? If anybody can remember that, throw that up there. The Price is Wrong, bitch. I mean, Bob. Knight Rider and Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, Knight Rider was a big one. Dukes of Hazzard was another one, yeah. But it was always the shows he watched.
Sure.
And
yeah, fair enough.
So I used to I think the one that made me the most pissed off was the A-Team.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? I never watched that.
Well, how many bullets did they shoot? And not one of them got shot.
They never killed anybody, right?
No.
Did they ever even injure them?
Not that
Anybody
I
remember Renegade? No.
Not Renegade. I don't remember.
Let's do some deep dives. There's a lot of, I love trying to think of some old shows that people don't remember, but
and then it was like the Disney.
Yes.
On Sunday nights.
What was that called? We got to look that up. You go ahead and, was it The Wide World of Disney? I don't know what it was. Disney Anthology TV show. The Wonderful World of Disney.
Wonderful. Yeah, and they always played like different Disney.
Yes. Oh, you know what?
CMD, yeah.
Murder, She Wrote. I'm going to say I loved Murder, She Wrote. I used to watch it with my grandmother. And there is there's a YouTube channel that comes into my feed once in a while.
Okay.
Something Roses. And she goes back and watches the worst episodes of it and then talks. It's so funny.
And I even got like an 80s shirt on, a 90s shirt on.
Oh, yes. What does that say?
It says Blow Pop.
Blow Pop. Okay, sure.
No, I think, that was pretty much about it. All those typical men's shows. Yeah.
So for me, some of my earliest TV memories were with Dad because he watched all the old stuff. Laurel and Hardy. Did you ever see Laurel and Hardy?
Never watched it. Like, I know what it is, but I never watched it.
I remember early on, and I was tiny. I can't remember exactly how early, but there was one where they were on a boat and they got hijacked by some criminal and they made him food. So they made spaghetti out of like mop strings and meatballs out of like, of course I was a kid. I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen, and I remember laughing. Oh yeah, it was a good time.
Gilligan's Island.
Oh yes, I did like Gilligan's Island.
I hated it.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah.
I hated.
How about the Beverly Hillbillies?
Oh, he watched those.
Did you like it?
No.
Anybody out there Hillbillies fans? Because I loved the Hillbillies watching it with Dad. So
I hated Gilligan's Island. Gilligan drove me nuts.
Three Stooges. I never was a Three Stooges guy. No. And Nate says MTV when they had music videos. So
yep.
For my fellow Americans, I need to tell you something. We didn't have MTV in Canada until the early 2000s.
It's Much Music.
We had Much Music, which, there it is. Hey, Jeff Stark. I love having a fellow Canuck in here.
Yeah.
Much Music was friggin' awesome. Jeff, do you remember, I think the guy's name was Dan Gallagher, and he used to have a game show on Much Music in the morning, and the big prize was a toaster. Do you remember that?
No, I didn't watch much.
Goodness, it was so good.
But then we watched Where in the World was Carmen Sandiego. Mm-hmm. That was a game show that we watched. And of course, then you had like your Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
And we always watched Roseanne.
Oh, I loved Roseanne. I watched a bit of Roseanne, but you got me to fall in love with the show Roseanne.
Yeah, no, Roseanne was a big thing. I used to watch that with my grandmother.
And I bet we've watched that show. I don't know.
Well, they've taken it off now because of that big controversy.
Apparently, she did something.
Apparently, Roseanne Barr did something that Roseanne Barr is known for doing.
You mean like they? Yeah,
like you knew it was a snake when it bit you, right? Oh, like Roseanne's been like that her entire life, and all of a sudden, because she said something that just pissed off the wrong person, and then all of a sudden she got canceled. But she has been like that her entire she has always been like that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, remember when she did the World Series and she grabbed her crotch and she spit?
I was just gonna, and she sung the stupid the national anthem. Remember how bad she was? And we're like, whatever.
And you know what? She has always been like that.
Oh yeah. Nate used to set up for those on the audio, the Speed Channel when they had the Rolex 24 at Daytona or 24 Hours Le Mans. I used to stay up all night watching those races. I was a sports junkie in high school. Did not matter what was on. It could have been cricket. It could have been Aussie rules football. I remember staying up till 2 a.m. to watch the X Games. And I saw the night that Tony Hawk did, I want to say it was a 1080, whatever it was, the big flip. And I watched the whole thing from start to finish. And I mean, I couldn't skateboard to save my life, but it was pretty cool,
And, baseball.
Oh, yeah. Not in my house. It was hockey in my house, of course. So.
No, it was Blue Jays.
Aaron, it's funny, Aaron, because Aaron remembers TGIF every Friday night, but up in Canada, it was on Saturday night. TGIF, right? Yeah. Get her. Sorry, Aaron. I'm a dick. And Jeff remembers Gallagher, but not the game show. I'm going to see if I can find that afterwards. The dude is a DJ on a local radio station in Calgary now, I think. And he was, heavy set dude that was hilarious. He had curly 90s hair, 80s hair,
Okay.
I used to love road racing, rally car racing and stuff. Watch that all the time. But the nanny. Yeah, Fran Drescher. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and then you had those other ones too. It was like Family Ties and
Growing Pains.
And what was the one with
Facts of Life?
Not that one. It was the one where he's like the Manny.
The what?
He's like a nanny, but he's a man. The Manny.
Oh, Who's the Boss?
Who's the Boss?
Yes. Yeah. And just I'm going to see if I can find that Much Music game show toaster. What was the guy's name? Test Pattern. So it was called Test Pattern, and the host, Dan Gallagher. So see if we can find a picture of this
in living color. Yeah.
Living. Yes. Was that Charles in Charge? I never saw that one. Did you ever watch that
Charles?
one?
Yeah, I watched that one. That had Scott Baio.
It may have.
Was it Scott Baio?
Let's see if we can. Yeah, they're.
No, I never watched that. He looks like what's his face?
Like a wrestler?
No, the one that just recently passed away.
I am not sure.
He used to have a cartoon show.
Huey. Yeah. I know who you mean. Yeah.
What's his name?
Yep. Louis.
Yeah, he
Louis.
looks like him.
Yeah. So this was that was Dan Gallagher in all his early 90s greatness. This is the type of thing you would see here. I'm trying to see if I can find him with a toaster because the whole idea was you could win a toaster on there. So to me, in my Gen X freaking crazy mind, it was the most stupid thing in the world, and I thought it was hilarious. It was so random. I loved it. Yeah, it always made me happy.
Remember Hollywood Squares?
There you go. Did you turn that off on purpose?
It was blinded me.
There, we'll get you one more good. Is that all right? All right. Hollywood Squares with Whoopi Goldberg in the center. Or was that? Oh, Ed. Yes. Okay,
Ed
guys.
Beavis and Butthead.
This is so great to have some Canadians on here. So every Boxing Day in Canada on Much Music, we would have what they called fromage. And it was a sock puppet, Ed, who smoked a cigar and kind of swore. And he would play the worst videos of the year. Do you remember that, hun?
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron, do you remember Ed the Sock, or are you saying that to Charles in Charge? Because that if you know Ed the Sock, that makes me really I'm quite impressed. Let's see if we can find Ed the Sock here to show you guys.
Yeah, he was such an idiot.
Oh yeah, he was. Look at him. Let's share the screen here, guys. Whoops, there's us.
I don't even know who came up with that.
I have no idea. Oh, Hollywood Squares, yeah. So there he was, guys. This was what junior high Tim used to watch every year. We would record it.
I watched Ed.
He was hilarious, and he would make fun of him. He was like the dog. Remember MTV had that stupid dog that
never watched MTV.
He got in a fight with Eminem one time or something. This is the same type of thing, except this guy was a little more crass. So This is the stuff we got up here for sure, and I loved it. Yeah. But yeah, Ed the Sock. So Svengali. Do you know? No? All right. So how are we going to keep track of the score this evening? Because what we're going to do is we're going to talk, and then we're going to just kind of ask a question. And the first person to type out the answer gets a point?
Yep.
All right.
I can put it in my phone.
Okay.
Let me get a new
Oh, yeah. No, we're good. But
okay.
Okay. So everybody ready? First person to type out. Okay. If everybody's here and listening, if you're in Telegram, I'm watching over there too, but I don't think there's anybody. So what year did The Simpsons half-hour show premiere? First person to type that into the comments gets the first point. And Becky has been, you have a couple of really good prizes set up, don't you?
I do.
Yes. So
do that. Is it
the Jeopardy music?
Jeopardy music?
Yes. Oh, you're close, Amy, but I'm going to ask the question again because Amy's incorrect. The question was, what year? Byron got it. What year did The Simpsons half-hour show premiere? In 1989 is the year. So now you are also correct, kind of, Amy, because
this is
the Becky Show with Toolman Tim. Yeah, she let me come on once in a while. Hey, Dixon Way. So Let's ask a second question, and then we can talk about it a little bit, okay? Mm-hmm. So the second question was, what show did The Simpsons originally originate on as a short 2 or 3 minute filler every week? Does anybody know the name of the show that The Simpsons originally appeared on? And it was in 1987. Let's see if anybody knows this one. I'm Simpsons, whatever. So who got that one? Byron got that one. Yep. So what show did The Simpsons originally premiere on? Ha-ha, Byron. Yes, sir. He's either really quick with Google or he knows his Simpsons. The answer is the Tracy Ullman Show. And Nate just unlocked a whole bunch of memories. Mad TV. Yep. If anybody wants to see something really funny, well, we were in Spokane. I was laying in bed. You were sound asleep. I was watching videos of Will Sasso. He used to be on Mad TV. He does the best impersonation of Jesse Ventura I have ever seen.
Oh, so, Amy got it.
Yeah. So, okay. So The Simpsons, if you've never seen them, I don't know if you guys, if you've watched The Simpsons a bunch, you might remember a little bit of it, but they premiered as like 3-minute shorts on the Tracy Ullman show.
And they were awful.
They were awful. And she was I think she's a British comedian, isn't she? It was like a skit show or whatever.
Tracy Ullman?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, let's see. Tracy Ullman. Funny how it always comes up as The Simpsons, isn't it? So if anybody didn't, Mad Magazine Rock, yeah, it did. So here is right there. That's one right there. Let's bring this up. Share. So that is what the original shorts looked like.
They were awful.
Yeah, they were so bad. And they weren't even that funny, right? They were, Backwoods Butcher. Will Sasso did Kenny Rogers, and he was so funny. When Charlotte and I were driving the other day, we were heading to her what was it, the track meet or whatever. I got her to watch. She's like, what can we watch, Dad? She said it was so funny when you introduced me to the what was it? Celebrity Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live. So I told her about the Kenny Rogers skits. She didn't find it quite as funny because she didn't know who Kenny Rogers was, but it was still pretty good. Let's see. Backwood says he did Kenny Rogers. Haas says she was from England. Yes, she was. Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Kenny Rogers, and welcome to Jackass. That was so funny. And Byron, yes, the animation was absolutely horrible.
It was.
It was, it looked like a 4-year-old drew it, and we have that.
And the voices were awful.
Marge. Yeah, it was so bad. So Byron got both those?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Shall we ask another one?
Yep.
All right. Aaron might know this one. We're going to ask 2 questions again here. All right. Speaking of Friday nights, which station carried TGIF? 3-letter station. Whoever can type it out first gets the points. And then we have a harder question to follow up with that one. So, which station carried TGIF? Etch-a-Sketch drawings. Yeah. Oh, man. ABC. Byron. Oh, my goodness. Byron is fast. Oh, Amy was close. She said PBS. You had 3 letters, Amy. It was just not the right one. So, all right. Now, this one's going to be tougher. And TGIF originally premiered in 1989. Can you name, I'm not going to make you name all 4 of the shows because one of them only lasted for 1 episode, but can you name at least 3 of the original TGIF shows? Anybody who gets this, we might give points out to a couple of people on this one because it could be a hard one. Chris Dixon said WGN. I loved when I got WGN. We didn't get it in Canada. We got WGN, TBS, and another one bundled with the movie channels. Back in the day, remember, I got this brown converter box that I paid for. Okay, Byron got one. Perfect Strangers was right. I think that's the hardest one. Oh, Haas got one. Full House, yes. And the third one. You got any cheese? Do you remember him?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Yes, the father was in the greatest not Christmas movie of all time.
Die Hard.
Die Hard, yes. Oh, Perfect Strangers. Who said Family Matters? There we go. Yeah, Aaron said Family Matters. Aaron, you dug deep for Step by Step. It, yeah, that actually came out a couple of years later.
Family Matters too.
All right, we'll give her that one too. Yep. Chris Dixon said he grew up in the Go Outside era. I did too, but somehow...
I did too, Chris. I did too.
Listen, I lived outdoors. I lived on the bike. We played baseball until the fucking sun went down. But I still watched a metric shit ton of television. So, oh, dinosaurs! Oh my goodness,
I hated dinosaurs.
If anybody ever I think we might have talked about this last time.
Yeah.
But apparently, the final episode of Dinosaurs, I never saw it. But a friggin' meteorite strikes the Earth and kills them all. That is so bad. 8 is enough. Was that?
I remember. I don't ever remember watching it, but I do remember the show. It's like 8 kids or something.
Was that one of those that they renamed or something? I'm trying to feed the baby. Oh, yeah. Not the mama. Yeah. 1977. No, I don't remember that one at all. Let's bring it up here. Who is that guy in the Dick? Oh, Dick Van Patten. Yeah. All right, let's bring it up. Here's 8 is enough. I don't remember this one at all.
I don't ever remember watching it, but I do remember the name of it.
Most of the 70s sitcoms I watched on reruns with Dad,
Well,
and, yeah. I don't remember that one at all. Byron remembers it. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, they all look very 70-ish, don't they? So, all right, let's see what we got.
Well, you had to be alive in the 70s.
Well, you were.
Oh, I was born late 70s. I didn't watch TV, so.
A dick. All right, what do we got here? What's the first movie you remember seeing, hun?
Like on TV or in the theater?
Period. Yeah, well, whatever. What's your first movie memory from way back in the day? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you'll have to. I don't.
So I remember it was, so in my local town, anybody else if you remember the first movie you ever saw, throw it up in the comments. We had a drive-in theater, but before I got to ever go to it, they shut down the outside and they just made it an indoor theater. So I don't know how they did that, but I went and watched the Big Bird movie when I was just like tiny. And my cousin Charlene, Charlene,
mm-hmm.
She worked there. She got me into it for free. And yeah, that's the very first movie I ever saw.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if we actually went to the theater. Like the actual first theater movie I remember going to see was Home Alone.
Okay.
And that was in the double theater.
Because the entire world went to see Home Alone.
Yeah, and I seen it
7 times.
I seen it like 4 times. Yeah,
I was so jealous because they had the commercials, right?
Yeah,
and they're interviewing these people coming out of the theaters in Ontario. They're like, "Oh, I saw it 7 times." I'm like, "We don't have a theater. We might get it at King's Theater for a week, which is technically a real old fashioned theater."
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. But Backwoods doesn't remember. But Coneheads at the drive-in, I will always remember him chewing on the condom, blowing bubbles, thinking it was gum. And Aaron, I love Roger Rabbit. That was such a good film.
Oh my goodness, Amy, I hated that movie.
Pippi Longstockings?
The Cat from Outer Space.
Oh, I've never seen that.
I hated that movie. I think she loved that movie.
She probably did.
I hated it. It was the dumbest movie ever.
So Haas, his first movie was Trading Places. Byron was, are we talking the original Terminator, Byron, from 84? And Haas said before that was The Black Hole with the family. The Black Hole. Have you ever seen The Black Hole?
No.
I haven't, no. But Jeff Stark, I am so glad you're here tonight because we get to talk about random Canadian things that nobody has ever seen before. I grew up on the Beachcombers. It played.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know the Beachcomber? Oh my God. So we have CBC in Canada, which is like communist TV. No, it's owned by funded by the government. And they have all kinds of Canadian shows. You don't remember the Beachcombers? Well, let me see if I can find you a picture here. It was a bunch of guys in a northern community that, let's see what the best picture is I can find. I watched it all the time. Here it is here, guys. We'll bring it up.
My goodness. I have never heard of that.
You've never heard of the Beachcombers? Oh
Never.
My goodness. It was a classic. We watched it all the time as a kid, and they were so stupid. They were just, like redneck kind of hick hillbilly type that the guys would go out and they would collect like logs that would wash up on the shore and things. It was in BC, northern BC.
Oh,
so
no, never
really
heard of it.
Okay, that's funny. Yeah, it was good. Dad and I watched a lot of it, right? So, oh hey, Joker Leaves. We'll say beach. So we have another Canadian here. Where are you, Joker? I can't remember. Beachcomber. Okay, guys, you guys are all gonna hate us. because we're talking Canadian shit tonight and it's fun. But Beachcombers, Danger Bay, Red Green Show. This hour is 22 minutes. Royal Canadian Air Force, north of 60.
I remember the Red Green. This hour has Royal Canadian and north of 60. But Beachcombers, I have never heard of it.
Really?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll have to get you to watch it sometime. I don't think you would enjoy it, but I'll show you.
Just like with your dumb Father Ted.
Oh my God, Father Ted. I love it. Anyone else out there ever seen Father Ted? It's my favorite British show of all time. Who do we? Oh, okay. Joker is 15 minutes east of Carberry, I was going to say Montana. Manitoba. Right on.
You yank.
Yeah, yank. But what else we got here? Yeah. Okay. Dixon says Beachcombers was in Vancouver and Victoria Island. That makes sense. Sure.
I'm honest. No idea.
Byron says they still play Red Green on a.
Red Green is so stupid.
Is KY, is that Kentucky? Or is that? Yeah, I think it is, right? But so I have actually reached out to Red Green's people twice trying to get him on the show. And he's still alive. Yeah, Steve.
Oh, he's still alive?
Oh, yeah. Steve Smith is his name.
I didn't want to be rude. I wasn't sure if he was still with
He
us.
has a podcast that they do. It's behind a paywall.
Okay.
And it's basically a continuation of the Red Green Show. Him and a lot of the original, what do you call it? Cast do it.
Oh, okay.
So I just think he's a little too old. The last interview I saw was from like 5 years ago. And he's just looking, he just wants to retire.
And to be honest with you, I don't think I ever watched a Red Green Show.
Really? Oh.
Like you kind of see how when someone's watching it, you're kind of like walking by and you 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, kind of like that. But I've never actually physically sat down and purposely watched that show.
It was funny. My favorite skit of all time was the one where he's like, I went out and I shoveled the end of my driveway and then the snowplow came back and filled it in. He waved with a hand and I waved back with a finger. Always loved that. Dixon says Father Ted is great. I don't know Allo. I remember Are You Being Served? We got.
I think I remember that one.
We got a ton of BBC shows in Canada.
I hated BBC.
But most of these we got on PBS though. So growing up, I had PBS out of Boston. Let's see, ABC out of Detroit, Fox out of Rochester, and then I think CBS and NBC were out of Boston, I believe. So we had, I watched all American TV for the most part, but Backwood says the first real movie was my mom taking me to We Were Soldiers when I was in 4th grade. Dude, I love you. Yeah, I was a fucking junior in university when I watched that movie. I never forget when they go to pick him up and the arms just peel right off. Oh,
yeah. I don't think that. Yeah, because she didn't watch the trailer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You had a good mom there, Kyle.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's a good movie, though.
It
We
is
Were
a good
Soldiers
movie.
is a really good movie.
It was one of them that I was like, how are they going to turn this into a good movie?
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. Because it's a Vietnam movie, right?
Yeah, but Mel Gibson is what he is, but he's a good movie. He's an incredible actor.
He's a great guy. Absolutely. Yeah, so for me, okay. How about, does anybody remember the first movie they ever rented? So I remember, I don't know why.
I'm sorry, I'm so yawny
it's okay,
tonight. I'm trying not to yawn.
So what?
I know. I'm drinking pop, but I just can't wake my butt up.
That's all right. Don't be. And to her credit, we didn't leave. What a good mother.
Good.
There, Kyle.
That's a good movie.
So, all right. Let me see.
First movie we ever rented?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I couldn't even tell you.
In Nova Scotia, where I grew up, we didn't have kindergarten. We have what was called primary, which is the same as kindergarten, except it was a full class and whatever. So I would have been, let me see, I started Hack My Homestead. Hey, that's Sean Mills there.
Yeah.
Sean, yeah, and I think Don's on with him too. And so his very first movie he ever watched was Child's Play. That explains a lot about Sean, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, see, and that's the thing, like, because my dad always had the newest technology, right?
Right.
Like, I remember we had a Beta machine.
Beta, oh man.
But then, because Beta was supposed to be the greatest thing in the entire world. And then all of a sudden VHS came out.
Yep.
So I do vaguely remember him going to the store and buying a VHS machine. And I believe he paid like $700.
Oh, sure.
And it was like this massive, and our Beta machine was like, it was massive and it was like really thick. And
was it a top load? Did it open up? Or
it was a push one because everything had to be pushed. Couldn't be top, right?
Oh.
So,
gotta get with the 80s, Becky.
So he got out, but the problem with him when he went and got the VHS is that he had to buy all the movies.
Oh, yeah.
So we never really actually started renting movies until we got a little bit older.
You got it. Okay. Dawn had a Betamax when they met. Do you want to share what year that was, Sean? Because I think you guys have been together less than 20 years. I think maybe, I don't know. So that would still put it.
And I'm going to put it out there. I still have beta tapes,
right? Because
they're in my keepsake.
Wasn't it you? Didn't they record you on TV? Or
because in Ontario they had this television show called Big Top Talent,
right? And
it was a talent show that was filmed in Kitchener, and the host was some creepy clown that I can't remember his name.
Creepy clowns.
Yeah, it was a creepy clown, and it was talent acts from across the province. They would come, and it would be filmed on the Ontario station,
right? And
then it would be put on the TV. So my grandmother had a beta machine, and she recorded the show on her beta tape.
That's awesome.
And so I still have 2 or 3 beta tapes in my keepsake that have a couple things on them. I don't know how I'll ever watch them again, but unless we come across a beta machine.
So if Kyle's still in here, beta tapes are a lot like Netflix, except that the machine could eat them, spit them out, and you'd never get to watch it again. So
and they were
about
like that
2/3 the size of
a VHS. Yeah.
So my very first rental was, we had a birthday party, so it would have been March of 1987. Mom and Dad I was in grade primary, so it would have been 6-ish at the time. So so we went to Buckler's, which is the Venture Center now, and in there was a furniture store, and they also were the first place in town to rent movies. So we went there and we rented 3 movies and a VCR because we didn't have one of those. One of them was some Winnie the Pooh one, but the movie I remember was Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh, geez.
We rented that, and it was awesome. Yeah, I loved it.
Now I remember going before Blockbuster became a thing. We had on the corner of it was like this big huge plaza, and it was Jumbo Video.
Oh yes, Jumbo. Yep.
We used to go there and rent videos, and I remember as soon as you walk through the door, you could get Amy would remember it too. You get free popcorn. They had like little miniature bags of popcorn, and they were always so you could get that, and you could eat the popcorn while you were browsing the movie rentals. And then you went into the far corner, and they had the horror movie section, and they actually had a real coffin.
Oh yeah,
in the store with like some sort of dead looking vampire in it, and then it was covered with like cobwebs and spider webs, and they had horror music playing in it.
Sure,
yeah, it was a big deal renting from Jumbo Video.
So there are 2 Jumbos still left in Canada.
Is there really?
One's in London, Ontario.
Yeah, this was in Sarnia.
Yeah,
and it was like but that was the highlight of Friday night.
Sure,
going to Jumbo Video, because I think we could have more fun there than we actually did at home, because like you get into the little mall area, and they had a little grocery store, and I can't remember what else they had. Oh, they had a dollar store. But like you could spend hours in Jumbo Video, and you could go through and you could eat like 5 or 6 bags of popcorn, and they wouldn't even care.
Absolutely.
And on certain days they had like free juice and everything like that. Yeah, it was. And then they had this great big huge gumball machine. And if you got the black one, you got the free rental. So.
I loved it. So guys, you got to check this out. I'm going to bring this up here. This right here is Long Branch Rental. This is where I rented. I spent unbelievable amount of hours as a kid. Mom and Dad would drop me off. I would stay there for like 2 hours picking out movies.
Well, we would rent from there too when we lived in Bear River.
Yeah,
they had that whole horror movie section down in there, and
so I remember they give you a 4-digit code and 1467. Dad, they just printed it on a business card. Dad had it in his wallet until they give it to me, and it's still there. So the building still looks the same. It still has that. See, it says Long Branch Rental, and it says movies, recorders, rental, sales, and service. And that's what it looked like. The front window used to have movie posters in it. And if you look off to the left there, the white door, there's still the drop box for the VHS tapes. But now instead they rent chainsaws, cement mixers, and everything else. So
yeah, Amy and I used to go in there, and because their horror movie section
was so good down in the basement.
They had a really good section of horror movies.
You went to the basement, and if you went to the left, it was horror. If you went to the right behind the shower curtain, it was porn and sex toys. But But it was even worse was before they opened the basement, they used to have the porn on the back wall, and it was on like 45-degree shelves,
Oh my god.
And I remember my babysitter took me and a friend out there one time, and she was helping me pick out a movie, and all I could hear my friend was just a giggling over there, and they ended up kicking him out of the place because he was over there looking at all the adult movies. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it was
You
funny.
should bring up Jumbo Video and
I will.
See if that brings it up. I doubt it will, but
kind of like, Family Video. We never had Family Video in Canada, did we, Hen?
I don't think
But
so.
it recently closed down too, guys. I looked it up, and they COVID ended up killing it. So let's see if we can find a picture of Jumbo Video.
No,
that's probably the one in. So yeah, we'll bring it up and show you guys. So when I was my second or third year in college, they opened a Jumbo Video in Sussex, where I went to college, and we would go down and we'd hang out in the mall and we'd eat popcorn, and we wouldn't rent movies, but we'd watch the previews, and
because they even had a section in there where they had I don't know if it was a Nintendo or a Sega, and you could try out like all the new games. And
Long Branch used to have a Super Nintendo, and you put a quarter in, it would let you play the game for like 10 minutes or whatever. It was pretty cool. Nate says, where the sex toys final sales or rentals.
In Digby?
I never asked, but I'm going to go with you had to buy those. I'm pretty sure.
Rentals, could you imagine?
All right. So we got 4 questions out of 40 then. Oh, okay. So who remembers the Chipmunks? What order were the Chipmunks' name in the song? And now you're going to hear that song in your head, and you're going to have it in your head for the rest of the night. So what order were the Chipmunks listed in their theme song? And then it would always end with the dad hollering for Alvin, right? Because he was the bad one. So we'll see who can we'll see who can get the points right on this one. I'll go through 3 or 4 questions here. Got a couple of easy ones, a couple of hard ones. I kind of like mixing them up a little bit. Joker Lee. Oh, yeah, Elvin Simon. Byron is quick. Oh, Amy, come up pretty quick. We'll give you each a point. How about that?
I was going to say, if Amy didn't get that, I'd be disappointed.
Oh, yes. Joker says Radio Shack used to have a TurboGrafx 16 outside their store for years, and it was free to play. TurboGrafx was the one with the credit card games, I think. They were really thin. They were like a much bigger version of a Switch game now,
No, I don't.
But yeah, they were Elvin, Kelvin, and Dale. Who the hell's Elvin, Kelvin, and Dale? It's probably a joke I missed. But all right. What caused the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to become Teenage Mutant and Ninjas? At least Teenage and Mutant. Does anybody know? What was the thing that caused the Ninja Turtles to turn into what they were? Nate says he sucks at this. Dude, give him a point for Elvin, Kelvin, and Dale, because I feel that's the best answer of the night. If nothing else, we might give him a booby prize for that one. So Byron said green ooze. Yes, I'll give you that one. There you go.
There we go.
And bonus points. Does anybody know what comic inspired the story of the Ninja Turtles? Byron says Toxic Waste. Pretty close. Yeah. Mutagen. I would have accepted mutagen because that's what it actually was. But toxic waste, sewer gas, and radioactive waste. Hey, Rob. Good to have you, brother. Let's see. Joker Lee said, and my folks always knew where to find us in the mall whenever they were shopping. Absolutely. Radioactive waste. So does anybody know what comic book the original writers of the Ninja Turtles comic book based it off of? You may not know, and that's totally fine because...
Is that one of your questions?
I just threw it out there in case it was a bonus question. So
I'll lead strain from the past.
It's all right. We'll give them a couple of minutes and see what happens.
Strain.
Should I ask another question while we're waiting?
Straying.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
How about in Looney Tunes, the Forever Enemies, which was Wile E. Coyote, and Roadrunner. What company did the Coyote always order his traps from? Does anybody remember? See who gets that up really. His booby. Did I say booby traps?
No, you just said traps.
Traps, yeah. Booby trap. Boobies. Somebody said boobies. So.
Gonna get banned.
Mm-hmm. Acme. Nate and Aaron at the exact same time. We'll give them each a point. So, It was Daredevil was the comic. The entire story was lifted from Daredevil's origin story, which was kind of cool. They really wanted to write comics, so they wrote the original Ninja Turtles comic. All right, now I got a trick question for you, kind of. Pay very close attention. Which 80s show had the largest audience for a finale? Now we'll see. I know what everybody's going to think, but pay attention. Which 80s show had the largest audience for a finale? Erin says she's first on her screen. That's all that matters.
I've seen it, Erin.
Yes, we got you.
I'll back you up.
Mm-hmm. Friends. Nope, that was a 90s show. Well, anyway, maybe it started in 89. I can't remember. But no, it's not Friends. MASH. I knew somebody would say MASH. MASH was a 70s show that finaled in the 80s. This was actually an 80s show that finaled in 1990, I believe.
Where everybody
Yes.
knows your name.
Norm!
And they're always glad you came.
See if anybody... They're all just ignoring us. It's great. Yeah, Dallas, close.
Cheers.
Close.
There, Erin got it.
Oh, Erin, yes. Cheers to Erin. There you go. Yes. Hack my homestead. You know what? Sean, double check your feed and make sure you're not back a little bit, because you just answered a question from about 4 minutes ago. And he probably can't hear me say that because he's listening. So I don't know. Poor Sean. We'll
I hated Cheers.
I didn't mind that. It was okay.
No, I hated Cheers. It was not funny at all.
I know, K-Bonk. It ended in the 80s. I had to get some technical questions to get everybody going. All right. Mm-hmm. Next question. Who shot JR? I'm kind of young to remember that, but I do remember the summer where everybody was wondering who shot JR.
I never watched Dallas.
Neither did I.
Ever.
But yeah. Mom, well, you know my mom.
Oh, yes. I imagine your mother probably watched.
She watched every evening. Yeah, Dallas. So every evening, couldn't call them a sitcom. They're more like soap operas, you know?
Yeah, they were.
There was another one, Knots Landing. Do you remember Knots Landing? They were all these 80s.
I think I recognize the name.
Yeah, 80s and 90s. They were like, was it his wife? No, it wasn't his wife. You're getting closer. I'll even just accept what relative it was.
You don't even have to say the name.
Right.
Just what the relative is.
Let's just say it's awfully close to Amy. And we'll see. No, it wasn't the brother. We'll give you a couple more. Give everybody else another chance here yet. And let's see. His wife. Nope. Byron, sis-in-law. Yes, it was sister-in-law.
Close, Amy.
I was just thinking she might shoot me. Okay. So to follow that one up, who shot Mr. Burns? Do you remember that one, hun?
Yep.
I
hated General Hospital.
Oh, here we go.
I hated soap operas.
My mom watched One Life to Live.
Oh, I imagine she did.
No, but it gets worse.
And Young and the Restless.
Because I was just into web design at that time, and I'm like, hey, Aaron, Nate got it, Maggie. So I made a website for One Life to Live back in like 1997. For Mom.
You probably did.
Yeah, I did. But I also did one for wrestling and a bunch of stuff. So, Hey, Tracy Lynn, good to see you. Even though Nate misspelled it, we'll give him Madger.
We'll give him Madger.
Yeah, that's good. As the world turns. Yes. Oh, my goodness.
As the world turns.
Okay. I believe I mentioned this in last week's episode, so maybe somebody was listening. But during one of the middle seasons of the Dukes of Hazzard, the boys, John Schneider and Tom Wopat, they played Bo and Luke Duke, held out for more money. And the studio decided to play hardball. And they're like, fine, we don't need you. We're going to replace you with the cousins we've never mentioned before. Does anybody know what Bo and Luke's cousins who replaced them, what their names were? And I know it right off the top of my head. I don't know why I know that.
I never watched Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, I love Dukes of Hazzard. And not just because of Daisy Duke either. I mean, looking back on, she wasn't that pretty. She just had the shortest shorts in the world.
Oh, you could see her vagina.
Yeah, she looked like a wrinkled old lady. Oh, Byron, Coy, and Vance. Good man, yes. All right.
You got one more, and then they're my questions.
Okay. So, we talked about Cheers, and it was a very successful show. It had a couple of spin-offs. Which spin-off from Cheers went on to be almost as successful as Cheers itself? And just found out the other day that it is getting rebooted.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, but
no.
Haas says Daisy's butt cheeks. Yep, they were hanging out. And Amy.
Amy got
Yep.
Coin Vance.
I wonder if her stream's a little delayed. Yep, Byron Fraser. Byron is kicking ass tonight. So yes, it was Fraser. There was another spinoff that I can't remember, had a different name, and it got canceled after the first season, like most spinoffs do.
Yeah.
So Fraser, yes. All right. So let's go back up here. Did you ever have a black and white TV?
No.
Never. No, I did. Little 13-inch. So Chris Dixon already dated himself by saying that he once rented a reel-to-reel projector. So there's that. But how many people out there started their TV watching journey on black and white television? So Amy's lagging. Oh, poor thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it sucks. I don't know how you would. The only way to do it is if we had everybody on just YouTube, maybe. I don't know. But we'll give points to people if they get it up there pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm keeping track.
Mm-hmm. This is like Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where the scoring's made up and the points don't matter.
Yeah.
No, that's not completely true. But yeah, so we had the little black and white TV with it had the circles on the front with there was like speakers or whatever, right? So Byron had black and white, Jeff had black and white, Joker had black and white. Kyle grew up on high definition. So
My grandmother had a little TV that sat on her counter in the kitchen.
Oh,
a little tiny.
Was it under the cabinet?
No, sat on it. It might have been, but she had it sitting on it. It was a little tiny, and then she upgraded it to like this radio. And when I used to sleep over at her house, it was like passively aggressively trying to wake me up. She would listen to country music, and it would be like the highest volume setting that you could find, and then she would add 50 to it because I don't even know how I heard it in that house, but it was the most obnoxious country music, and it would wake me up out of a dead sleep every time.
I wish I'd have met that lady. She sounded like a pretty special lady.
Oh, wake me right up. I'm just like, and it was awful. And I used to come down and get mad at her. I'm like, well, if you're gonna play music, at least play something good. This is crap. What are you doing?
Aaron says they had a dial TV, but don't think it was just black and white. Nate says the black and white fuzz on Channel 0 after midnight. Oh, man. So in Canada, we had the French channels that played all of the special shows. It was called Blue Nuit after midnight.
Of course you would know that.
Of course I would. I was a 14-year-old boy with cable. You want to believe I knew that?
No, I remember having a dial TV, but it wasn't black and white.
Yeah, we did too. But then we had a dial TV for a bit, and then Dad bought a cable converter box, so it had one of them.
The big remotes with that click, 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 click,
and it had the metal you could kind of peel. It had
I
glue under it. Me
peeled
too.
that.
I'd sit there and I can still picture that. I'm pretty sure that was actually give you cancer or something.
Well, and to change it, you had to hold it with two hands, and you were to press the buttons.
Yeah,
because it was gigantic.
Nate says, "Oh yeah, no, we got that one." Joker said, "Switching to channel 3 to use the VCR or gaming console." Yes.
And then when you're clicking it around, and if you miss it, you're like, oh, and you got to go all the way back around, kind of like with your dial phones.
Did you ever have UHF?
What's that?
So that was a different type of TV. So do you
so.
remember? Okay, so we never had it either, but our dial TVs had VHF on the bottom and then UHF on top. Do you remember the movie that Weird Al did called UHF?
I never watched it.
It was kind of like, I guess nowadays, you know how AM's really rare.
Mm-hmm.
UHF was a higher, I don't know, Nate could probably explain it, but it was in the bigger areas, they had UHF channels that you could get. So I never really,
No, I remember though, but if you missed, you had to like go all the way back around. But then I remember like it was the same when you're calling somebody, if you misdialed and you had to hang up and start over again.
Right.
Yeah. I
think our early ones, you couldn't go backwards on the dial either.
No.
But the later ones you could.
Yeah. You just like, yeah.
And Backwood said we had one of those big screen TVs that weighed thousands of pounds. Yes.
Yeah, the big rear projection ones or whatever they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
In college, so I graduated in 2003 in the student center in the main area where we'd all go sit and watch TV. That's where we watched 9/11. That was on one of those great big rear projection TVs that if the sun was out, you couldn't see it.
Well, and when you turned it on, it boom, that noise. You're just like, is this thing gonna blow or what's it?
Yeah. Byron says 3 to 11 VHF and 18 through 56 UHF. Yeah. When I was a kid, we only had up to channel 13 originally. So I think channel 13 was YTV. 12 was TSN, 11 was CBC. Oh my God. 10 was the Telecaster channel. So it was like, it had that scratchy radio voice. and it would read the weather, and then it would have like news that would kind of be typed in.
Yeah.
9 was a TV guide, 8 was ATV, 7 was ASN, 6 was MITV.
You're sad.
5 was PBS, 4 was ABC, and 3 was CBS.
And 1 was outside.
2 was for the French channel. Isn't that awful? I suck.
Yeah, you do.
Aaron says only 13 channons. Yeah, is that? Yeah, do you remember that too, Aaron? Or is that a question? Because I'm guessing she's wondering what the hell's wrong with me. So,
well, there's and you remember? I don't. Of course, the only other person I think in this room that would remember it would be Amy. That we had the local channels, like for the town we lived in.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't know if she remembers it or not, but Amy, do you remember when it was every Saturday night, I think it was, and we had to call in and we had to ask them a question, and if we could stump the hosts, we got Dairy Queen.
Oh, was it the Sunday coin?
No, it was a coupon for a banana split.
Oh,
so like we would always sit around and try to think of all these questions to stump this guy so we could get like unlimited banana splits. I remember we did that every Saturday. I can't. She remembers. Yeah.
So Channel 9 was so it was the TV guide, but it was also access cable. So
that's what this was.
Yeah, you know where Josie's restaurant is.
Yep.
If you're looking at Josie's restaurant, the one that's on the far right in that little strip mall.
Yep.
That was access cable. They had a little TV station in there.
Yeah, that's what Sarnia had. And these guys, they would sit on chairs, and they had like 2 trees beside them, like between 2 ferns.
Between 2 ferns,
and then they would sit there, and they were idiots. They were idiots, but they acted like they were so smart. And you would call up there, and you would ask them a question. They'd be like, "Oh, well, I don't know."
Well,
boom, banana split, bitch.
The answer used to be the square root of 3 when I went to school.
Yeah, like I was like, guess what?
Much.
You owe me banana. And then like we would pick them up, and there'd be like we'd have like 5 or 6 of them. We'd go for banana. Yeah, it was awesome.
Haas says, "Who tried to watch porn while movie the antennas to get a view as a kid?" Well, we didn't do that, but my buddy Troy,
he did.
He had one of those massive satellite dishes, and if you change the channel just fast enough, every so often you get the Playboy channel to come in. So,
or when you're changing it and you have a window open, you can hear it going.
Oh yeah,
as it's going. You're like, what the hell is that? Massive thing moving.
Local, yes, very local news was now. Growing up, we had ATV, which was out of Halifax.
Yeah.
Well, you watched even Steve Murphy just retired. I loved listening to that dude. He was a good interviewer, but those days are gone. So, all right. So
now these are my questions.
You gonna ask them?
I can ask them.
All right.
Which 80s movie was the highest grossing film of the decade?
I had no idea that was the case. And it came out in like 80 or 81?
I think so.
Yes. So, which 80s film was the highest grossing film of the decade? Anybody know? And
if nobody can guess it, I can give a hint.
Yeah, my favorite snack is Reese's Pieces.
Yes.
Nate says, anyone have a hot box, the hack box with the buttons on top with 99 channels? Close. Back to the Future. No. Oh, Nate said it. I thought that was etc., but he said E.T.
E.T.
Yep, you got it,
Amy
Nate.
got it too.
Star Wars. Yep. I had no idea that was the highest gross. Unpopular opinion time. I think E.T. is.
I hated E.T.
Boring.
I hated it.
I way more liked. Give poor Sean a point. He's been trying really hard.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Hear that, Sean? He's giving you pity points.
Does anybody remember Flight of the Navigator? Because I like that movie way better than E.T.
I
used
remember,
to watch it in school.
I think Amy, we watched which one? Mac and I?
Oh, Mac and Me.
Mac and Me.
Yeah. So has anybody ever seen? So a really young Paul Rudd was in Mac and Me.
Yeah.
And he has been trolling the late night TV hosts for years. Whenever he goes on, so like whether it was Conan or whoever it was, he would say, well, I have footage of my new film for you. And they'd be like, it shows the picture of the kid in the wheelchair going down the hill every single time. It is hilarious. Yeah. Pee Wee Herman voiced the Navigator. Paul Rubin. I didn't know that. And Aaron loves that movie. That's cool. Yeah, Flight of the Navigator was awesome.
I recognize the name, but I don't remember
It's
the
been
movie.
such a long time. We used to watch it all the time. Yeah. Hey, Tracy Lynn said Flight of the Navigator is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'm trying to mentally picture it, but
I remember where they have these like bagged in areas that people walk through, like quarantine things. And
I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but I'm trying to. I can't peg it. Like
it came out kind of at right after Navigator, right after E.T. because it was Sarah Jessica Parker was in it. Did not know that. Let's see if we can find some images here. There it is.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Way better film than E.T. I always thought.
And who's the kid?
I don't know.
Who is that? What's his face?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's go to IMDb and see who he is. Anybody know? Never seen it. Goofy. It's worth watching.
That's not from 86. That's not the guy from Haunting of Hill House, is it?
Oh, I know who you mean, but
no. You go back.
Where is he there? That's the boy, Joey Kramer. David
okay,
Freeman.
no.
Paul Rubens voice. Yeah, did not know that. Learn something new every night. I did you watch? You didn't like Pee Wee Herman, did you?
I hate Pee Wee Herman.
I used to love watching that show. Yeah, if you love Caesar salad, why don't you marry it? Yeah, so
no.
But yeah, it was, and then of course he got in trouble, right? So
yeah, well,
Mr. Landfill, good to have you. I have Flight of the Navigator on Laserdisc. Are you a Laserdisc collector? Because I watch a lot of retro videos on Laserdiscs, and apparently they suffer from disc rot, where the picture starts getting like pixelated or whatever. It's kind of a shame. So, all right, want to ask another one there, darling?
I do.
All right, let's bring it up. Oops, wrong one there. Let's close that one out. So,
okay,
where were we? Okay, right there.
Okay, so I am going to add that he's one of my favorite actors. Okay, and I think he has passed away.
God rest his soul.
Yes. Which 80s movie was Alan Rickman's first feature film role?
Make a face like him.
And it's the best Christmas movie in the entire world.
Oh, so he was in Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? I didn't know that.
No. Come on now.
Home Alone? Because you just asked the best.
Amy got it. Yeah, she did.
Laserdisc. I never knew anybody that had Laserdisc, which is a shame because
I didn't know.
I really would have loved Laserdisc back in the day. I would have thought that was pretty cool. Man, everybody.
Yeah, see? Because it is a Christmas movie and everybody agrees with me.
Oh, dear. I'm going to bed. I don't know what this is.
Okay, so these are quotes from movies. Okay, so if anybody's a movie buff, it's going to be, I think there's a couple 90s, mostly 80s. Okay.
So you're going to read.
I'm going to read the quote, and then you're going to tell me what movie it's from. So, snakes. Why'd it have to be snakes? And hint, they're not on a plane.
They weren't on a motherfucking plane. Why'd it have to be snakes? Anybody know? If anybody can get it, it is... there is a new one coming out in theaters in the next week or two, and I heard that it may be suffering from the mindset of go woke and go broke, unfortunately. So, yep, it's that was a tie. We'll give Yozik coming in with the tie. Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones.
Yeah, they all got it.
There you go. Give everybody a.
Hang on, I gotta add. Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, we got it. Everybody brought it up. All right, we'll give everybody a point for that one.
Yeah, see, everybody knows.
Oh man, everybody got that one. Okay. Wait a minute. That came in backwards was the first one. That was weird, eh?
Yeah, well that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
If I missed anybody, we'll go back.
It kind of switched them all around. Yeah, cool.
All okay. Right. So.
All right. Next one. Oh yeah, this is a good one. If Amy doesn't get this one.
If Amy doesn't get this, I'm gonna be so disappointed. Okay. Yeah.
Try it.
Okay, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right, okay? Okay, hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Isn't it that small guy that says that? Or who? No, okay.
What movie is that from?
Prepare to die.
Prepare to die. You killed my father.
There you go. I always thought it was Indigo, but I guess it's not.
I think it's Inigo.
Inigo Montoya. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Oh, all right. Yep. we'll give. Yeah. So we got. Oh yeah, everybody brought it. Yeah. Somebody said Star Wars. That's awesome. Love you, Haas. Really appreciate you. That's awesome. I love it. All right.
Okay, we'll have to probably go back through the comments.
Oh yeah, there's about 15 people said Princess Bride. This is fun. Never seen it. Oh, that's okay. So okay,
Princess Bride.
It was
Inigo. Yeah, I thought that's Inigo. Yeah.
That one and Search for a Holy Grail were super popular at college, and because of that, I never watched it. I have seen it since, but I
love
never.
the Princess Bride.
Yeah,
it's so corny, but it's so good at the same time, right? So,
all right.
Okay, so now we got another question.
This is weird. I don't. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, which 1980s theme song inspired its own separate film?
So they made a movie named after this song?
I guess they did. Yeah.
Did not know that. Yep.
And the song came from a Rocky movie. I guess I could say
the
that.
original.
The original Rocky movie.
Yeah, the one where don't go up against a Sicilian when death is on the line. Yeah, it's not a bad movie. That's for sure. Yeah, it's funny in its own way for sure.
And I think it's one of Noah's favorite songs too.
Really?
I think he loves this song.
Yes. It is that? No, it's not the song that they sing. Is it the song they sing when he climbs up the steps?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
there you go. Goofy Roofy got it. Good. Yeah. That's cool. Goofy Roofy. I love that. It's good. Oh man. All right.
Amy got it too. Yeah.
Should we give him a second, or we?
We'll give it a second.
Karate Kid. Close.
Close.
That's key. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, baby.
Okay. So, how many people were killed in the 1996 film Scream? Hint: it's less than 10. And this is the original Scream, not the remakes or anything.
Is the answer 11?
Yeah, no, 14.
Oh, but that's not less than 10.
Well, you're the one.
Oh, close, Nate. Nate. No. Nate got it. Yeah,
Nate got
there
it.
You go. Good job, Nate. I love that movie. Hack My Homestead. Yes. They when they killed Drew Barrymore early on, that was awesome. Yeah, it was a big.
Well, and it was kind of disappointing because they made it sound like it was her movie.
Yeah.
And then because they have her on the poster and everything, you're like, oh, because she was big then.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they kill her off in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, of course, I was happy.
And it's like awesome. They did with
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal in that movie too.
I watched a video about that the other night. It turns out, so Steven Seagal did that awful movie where he went up in Alaska to save the native people from the oil. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he directed that film, I think. If that, there we go. Happened last night once too. So the studio said to him, well, since your movie was such a flop, we need you to help us out. So we need you to show up and...
On Deadly Ground, yes.
Yeah, that was it, yes. So they said, we need you to be front and center in this poster. We don't care if we kill you off in the first 10 minutes. We need to sell this movie based on you being in it. And that's what they did. Just off. Yeah. He's a dirtbag. No getting around it. All right.
Okay, next one.
There you go.
All right. Which artist sang the song, the title track from the film Pretty Woman?
Yes, I never knew of the guy until.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, I know.
I love his music. My grandmother used to have him on tape.
Executive Decision. Yes. Yep. Goofy Roofy. Right on.
Yep.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because I remember we rented. So we used to hang out at Lynn Bursey's house when we were in high school. We'd go down to Marshall's convenience store and rent movies. And they had Executive Decision. It had Steven Seagal in it. And we're like, friggin' bullshit. They killed him.
Right.
And now I'm like, man, that was a good move, I thought. So
okay, so now you gotta move those down.
Yep. All right.
Okay, so this is another movie quote. Who said there's no crying in baseball? But I want the actor or the character that he played.
Yes.
And what movie is it from?
The movie's not bad. I like baseball films, yes.
It's Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Hanks.
All right.
But what's the movie?
Yes. It was, yeah.
A
Oh,
League
Hack
of Their
My
Own.
Homestead. Got
There
it.
you
Yep,
go.
there we are. All right. Well, there was a comment back here I wanted to catch. I might have missed it. What was this? The Traveling Wilbur. What am I? The best? Oh, yeah. Roy Orbison, Traveling Wilburys. Mackenzie introduced me to that. I think that's the band Tom Petty was in too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had no idea. He's like, yeah, it's a great song. I'm like, okay, cool. I love you, dude. You're awesome. So he's half my age, and he knows songs that are twice as old as I am. So there you go. All right. Oh, this is a tough one. Pick this one up for everybody.
Okay. Wait, let me read it first.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. What movie was Robin Williams's first animated film? And a hint, it's not Aladdin.
I wouldn't have remembered this without you having it written down for sure. So let's see if anybody comes up with what was Robin Williams' first animated film. I like these trivia nights. This is fun. Everybody's having a good time. Toys?
Nope.
Oh, I remember. I don't know if I've ever seen Toys, but I remember the poster was everywhere. Robin Hood, Mrs. Doubtfire. No, animated film.
Animated film, yes.
Now, Robin Hood was animated if he's thinking of the Disney one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it's animated film and that he voiced, but it's not Aladdin.
Yes. That's a deep.
I think Amy liked this cartoon.
Yes. Byron Roberts, Fern Gully. Right
Gully,
on.
yep.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Peter Pan. He did the bird in that. Oh, in Fern Gully?
It was like a bat or something, I think.
Yes, that's right. All right. Let's, everybody out there, what was everyone's favorite Saturday morning cartoon? If you could only watch one Saturday morning cartoon for the rest of your life, Mrs. Cook, what would it be?
Oh, jeez. Honestly, probably Care Bears or Popples.
Really, Popples. The Popples are a messed up friggin' thing.
I like them.
They're like a friggin' kangaroo that could turn themselves inside out.
And I loved it.
Something from a horror movie. It wasn't bad. But Backwoods Butcher said Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny. Mr. Landfill said Bugs Bunny. G.I. Joe for Hack My Homestead. Marvin the Martian for Nate. Thunder the Barbarian for Yozik. I don't remember Thunder. Woody Woodpecker, but I'm a 70s kid, Goofy. That's fine. No worries.
You know, my brother, he was born in 82, and he loved Woody Woodpecker.
Yes, I did too. So my favorite, without a doubt, by a mile, was the Ninja Turtles. I owned every friggin' character. I never missed an episode. I loved that show. There was lots of other ones, like the Smurfs. I used to watch the Smurfs.
Oh, I hated the Smurfs.
I had a Smurf as a kid instead of a teddy bear, you know? I like G.I. Joe. Never really cared for Transformers that much.
No, I did like She-Ra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She-Ra was good. I liked He-Man. I don't know if I think I've told the story about poor Peter sitting in the hallway before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we watched the movie in school in grade primary, Masters of the Universe, and poor Peter was from some really strict religious household, and he had to sit in the hallway while we watched it. So yeah. Tom and Jerry or Bugs Bunny. And how did they get the art from Marvin the Martian? Super Friends. Oh, I loved Super Friends. Yeah, that was a good one.
Brian used to watch...
the X-Men?
No. The Chipmunk one. Alvin.
And... Oh, wait,
not Alvin and Chip and Dale.
Rescue Rangers.
Yes. Chip and Dale, yeah.
Oh, we just unlocked a whole thing here. So He-Man movie was the best worst movie. Yes, it was. Amy liked Animaniacs. Yeah,
she liked Animaniacs.
Yeah, I can see that would fit her. Oh, here we go. Joker said hard to say. Gummy Bears, Flintstones, Jetsons, Looney Tunes, Thundercats, Captain Planet, Dinosaurs, Smurfs, Transformers, and He-Man, Master of the Universe. Captain Planet. I do.
Amy said Care Bears too.
Care Bears, yep. Underdog.
I did like Care Bears. I still like them actually. I've been collecting them for when and if we ever have a grandbaby.
Yes.
I got all these Care Bears.
Here, so somebody asked if anybody remembers Captain Planet. I'm going to bring up a better one for you.
I don't remember this one at all.
Here, guys. Does anybody remember this one? Whoops, why didn't it show? Oh, yeah. Why didn't it show up?
Because you suck.
Yeah. It's in the wrong. Hang on, guys. Let's bring this up here. Let's stop screen. Captain Power. Does anybody remember Captain Power? Because I do, and I love that show, but it only lasted for a year. Here, let's bring it up. There you go. Captain Power. Does anybody remember that? I I liked it. You don't remember it?
Never.
It was way ahead of its time. It spawned this whole VR thing. You had like the VR
Well, I say
headset.
one of the ones that we watched a lot was Power Rangers.
Yeah, see, I never liked Power Rangers.
No, I didn't really like it. And I remember Amy watching Sailor Moon.
Yeah, Goofy Roofy remembers the one you could shoot at the TV. You had
I
these.
don't
Yeah,
remember it at all.
it didn't last very long. I think it was only one season. It was 1987, I believe. So yeah, I love those deep dives for sure. But all right.
No, I have never heard of that one.
What about adult cartoons, more grown-up cartoons? What's everybody's favorite? Oh, Raccoons.
I remember Raccoons.
That was a Canadian show, I think. I don't
Yeah.
think that was an American one at all. I don't believe. So, yeah, he's our hero. Take our pollution down to zero. Captain Plant. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. I don't remember that one at all.
You don't remember? You remember Captain Planet, though, don't you?
No.
Really?
No.
Beavis and Butthead. So,
I think adult, probably Simpsons.
Simpsons? Okay.
Yeah, like, I know there was, like, Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy and all that, but I never liked any of them. I thought Beavis and Butthead was the dumbest thing ever made.
See if anybody remembers this one. Hang on here. This was probably my favorite 90s adult cartoon by Jason Alexander. Duckman.
Oh, South Park, yeah.
South Park was pretty good, yeah. Does anybody remember Duckman? Because I loved Duckman back in the day. It only lasted, well, I guess it was 3 seasons. It was a very politically incorrect horny duck. So
probably.
Yeah. Ren and Stimpy. Oh, I loved Ren and Stimpy. I actually liked them more than any of the other ones.
I didn't think they were funny. I don't know.
Really?
No, The Simpsons, I love The Simpsons.
The Critic. Oh, that's a deep cut there, Aaron. Do you remember The Critic?
No.
John, I forget the guy that did the voice, but he was on The Simpsons for a little bit. I wouldn't call him a spinoff, but he was a movie critic. It was a really funny, but yeah. Darkwing Duck. Remember Darkwing Duck?
I do remember Darkwing Duck, yeah.
How about, was it Tailspin? Yeah, Tailspin.
And it wasn't really animated, but Howard the Duck. That was The Tick. Oh, do you remember The Tick? It got I think it got a live action for 1 season on Amazon, I believe. I think I remember it, but I don't ever remember watching it.
Thank you, Rufy. John Lovitz did the main. Yeah, I know, but The Critic it was pretty good. It was ahead of its time for sure. And yes, Goofy, I do remember that. Much Music were saying they were going to be banned. Now that I remember, that's where I watched Duckman was on Much Music. They used to have the adult cartoons on there.
Yeah, but Beavis and Butthead, I think, was probably the worst. I didn't understand that at all. I tried watching it, and and you're like, you don't even know what's happening. What are they even doing?
And they say that new movie was like really good.
Beavis and Butthead?
Uh-huh.
Like how there was
it Beavis and Butthead Go to the Future? I think it was, or something like that. And apparently it was really well done.
No.
Jokerlies, Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy, King of the Hill, American Dad were all about the same to me. I hated most of the rest. Yeah. King of the Hill's become my favorite over the years. But
Simpsons is still my favorite. I love Homer. He's so funny.
Let's say the first 8 seasons of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
they're starting to get more crass now because I think they have to compete with Family Guy.
Yeah, it wasn't really funny after a while, you know.
No, but there's still some things you watch and you're just like, oh my goodness, it's so funny.
Yeah, I remember the marijuana episode from quite a few years ago. That one when they legalized it, and Otto was like, "They call them fingers, man, but I've never seen them fing before." That one cracked me up. I like that for sure. So, and Goof Troop, yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about Goof. There was all of those Disney. They would play after school from like 3 to 5. Remember? There was DuckTales, Goof Troop. What was Scrooge called? Maybe it was Uncle Scrooge. Maybe, or was
I think that wasn't he on DuckTales? No,
he had his own, or maybe he was DuckTales.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember because he had the nephews or whatever.
Yeah, and then they had there was Chippendales Rescue Rangers.
That's the one that Brian watched.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah. Oh, there was a ton of those. All Scrooge McDuck. Is that what it was called? That was his name.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was Scrooge McDuck. Yeah. What were those? Let's see. Afternoon.
Now every year at Christmas time,
cartoons.
I was an avid watcher of those. It was 3 Christmas movies they put on every year. It was the animated Frosty.
Okay.
The animated Rudolph. And the one
Animated Frosty, animated Rudolph.
And the Mickey's Christmas Carol.
I love that one. That one's really good.
The Mickey. Yeah. Those were my 3 favorite at Christmas time. And I had to watch those. And I even raised our kids watching those.
Yep.
Like, especially the Rudolph one with like the where he Cornelius and everything had to be, and then the little elf dentist or whatever, the one that wanted
that was pretty good, actually. Yeah,
they are.
Trying to find.
I love those ones, and because like in the Mickey Christmas Carol, I think that's the best Scrooge.
Oh yeah,
that's.
So what? Okay, so they had what they called the Disney afternoon block, which was kind of like TGIF. I didn't know this. Yeah. So it originally had Gummy Bears, DuckTales, Chip and Dale, and Tailspin. I'm trying to see Goof Troop, Bonkers, Aladdin, Gargoyles. Who remembers Gargoyles?
I remember Gargoyles.
Oh yeah, I didn't really. Timon and Pumbaa. Yeah, so it got.
I remember
weird.
Timon and Pumbaa too.
Yeah. But Darkwing Duck was good. Mighty Ducks. Oh, I remember Mighty. Yeah. So Tailspin was Baloo from the Jungle Book. Absolutely. Oh yeah, Mad TV's Rudolph spoof. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, I think they shot him or something.
Oh yes, I do remember that. It was the claymation. Yeah, yes. That's what it was called.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it was so funny. Yeah, everything
about
Mad TV.
You know what? If I ever caught those on TV now, I'd still watch them.
Oh yeah,
I love and the Mickey Christmas Carol is my favorite.
Look at that. We just hit 20 live viewers all at once. Thanks, guys. This is fun. Yeah, that's not a record, but it gets us up there pretty good. I like that. Laurel and Harvey, March of the Tins. Laurel and Hardy, maybe March of the Tin Soldiers.
I'm not sure. I never watched Laurel and
Troy
Hardy.
And Riker did the Star Trek. Yes, on Mad TV. Oh, I love Mad TV. It was so good.
I remember Robot Chicken.
I
never watched it.
No,
but I
it came out. Wasn't that more of something that Mac watched?
He did watch it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, let's find a few more. All right, where are we?
A couple more questions.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Oh man. That's a good one. Here you go.
Okay, so this is pop culture. I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, sure it is. Why not?
It's going to throw you right off because it has nothing to do with any movies or TV shows. How many Americans, not Canadians, just Americans, tuned in to watch the O.J. Simpson trial verdict?
And we watched it in, I believe it was grade 10.
Yeah.
It was on all day at school. It was awesome. So, yes, that is. Do you remember? I remember coming.
Too many. Yeah, too many, pretty much.
I remember coming home one evening. There's two memories I have from the 90s. Way higher, guys.
Way higher.
The first one, I came home and Mom and Dad were watching this white Bronco getting chased on the highway, a slow speed chase.
Yep.
I didn't know why it was important, but it seemed important. And then like a year or two later, I come home and Princess Di had died.
Yep.
And Mom and Dad were watching that on TV too. It was crazy. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
And it was a big thing.
Oh, it was huge.
It was huge. Keep going.
Goofy and Nate are really close.
Really close. Just down a little bit.
We could probably give them that. It's pretty damn close. That would have been
down lower.
Yeah. So yeah. What was it? Yeah. Anyway, but that was almost what would have been over a third of the population back then. Damn near half. It was crazy. So, yep. Nate got it. 95.
95 million.
Dowie Farm says free OJ. Good to have you. I'd go for free orange juice. That'd be all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think, see, he's a communist. He wants everything to be free.
Ah, okay.
Dowie, yeah. He's from Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Well, not really, but he'll get mad when, he's going to shoot me. So, yeah. All right.
All right. Oh. Next one. Now, this is a
deep cut, literally.
Yes. So, anybody who grew up in
Go Bills
80s or 90s, what fashion accessory was invented by a high school shop teacher?
And what did you get for it? A slap on the wrist.
A slap on the wrist.
Oh. That was a dad joke through and through. That was a good one.
And this would have been really popular in the 80s, and everybody had to have them.
And they got banned for a while.
And they brought back.
And they were nope.
Slap bracelet,
Nate and Aaron. So they were made out of, if you cut them open, most of them are made out of recycled tape measures.
Yep.
Slap bracelet. Byron says slap. Aaron says poodle on a shirt. John Dowie. Remember, John, you got to be careful. Don't drink too much. So click clack.
Slap on bracelet. Yep.
Does anybody remember the balls you could buy that if you threw them up in the air and they hit the ground, they would snap like a cap?
Yeah. Well, I had
I don't know
ones
how
that
those work.
they had a metal ring.
Yep.
And they had 2 strings and 2 great big huge blue balls on them. Yeah, I know it's gonna be funny.
Was it the?
But you took it and you went like this,
Yeah.
and they were supposed to clap it. But man, if those flew off and hit I was bruised all the way up my forearm and around my hand from playing with those.
Does anyone remember lawn darts?
Yep.
And I don't mean the neutered version that had the big round piece. I think maybe Dowie and I were talking about him when he was on the show the other night.
You mean the bubble wrap version?
Yeah. These were the ones Mom and Dad had them. They just had a circle piece of pipe. You know, it was really tiny pipe. And you would stand back and one person would stand on the other end. And you'd swear the idea was to impale the other person, but it wasn't. So John Dowie says run.
Right.
Oh, that was fun. Old enough to have the real ones. Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you threw up in the air, everyone's like, Doc!
I bet if you went up into Mom and Dad's attic, you could still find the lawn darts up there.
Yeah. And they were sharp too.
Oh yeah. Well, like sharp enough anyway.
Yeah, no, they could hurt you.
And they made sense, you know.
And then do you remember the cat guns? When you remember you used to get like the red rolled up thing with the little black dots on them?
Yeah.
And you put them through the cat and those things would smoke. And then, but the thing is, so if you were firing it off and then you took the paper out, that paper would burn you. Oh, that's how hot it would get.
We used to take the paper, you'd roll it out on a sidewalk, you'd take a rock, you go,
and then you'd touch it, it would burn you. Those cap guns would really.
Everyone always had a story of somebody who got injured with lawn darts, but I never knew anybody.
I never knew anybody that got hurt with one. No,
but I mean, we used to have rock fights too. We'd go back in the woods and throw rocks at each other. So yeah. Oh, there we go. Tracy Lynn said my uncle took a lawn dart to the head once. He's fine. I knew.
Walk it off. that honestly, I think that was a term from the 80s and the 90s. I think my bones protrude. Oh, walk it off.
Mm-hmm. John Dowie said, I had a friend that just unknown to me sold a set of lawn darts online. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Rocks on the train tracks. Could you imagine? Oh yeah, that would be.
We actually lived near the train and we would go up and put pennies on the tracks. And then we'd hear the train and then we would ride our bikes up and go get.
John Dowie said 3 kids were killed with lawn darts.
Seriously.
I call that a good start, but no, that's not true. That's mean.
Who
said that?
Natural selection.
That is Darwinism at its best. Yep. So blunt head wound.
Survival of the.
Could you imagine?
The fittest, right? So.
Mm-hmm. I still have coins that were smashed on the train tracks.
I do too.
Yeah.
And and if you think about it now, how smart was that? To be wandering around in the middle of a field with train tracks.
Yeah.
But see, they sometimes they would come by and they wouldn't even blow their horns like they do now, right? Like they blow them at every stop now. But you could be just looking and look up and there's a damn train coming at you.
That's true.
You wouldn't even
but you know what?
It's
what was it, 6 or 7 years ago? I took the girls and we taped a bunch of pennies down to the tracks. Remember?
Oh, we didn't tape. We didn't tape them.
No,
that's
true.
The problem. And if we went there and we knew a train was coming, we'd put them down and we'd stand back, not realizing these pennies could fly up and hit you right in the middle of the face. And just
Jeff wants to know what I was drinking. What was it? Woodward? Was it Woodward
Reserve?
Yeah, I made it. And it made an old fashioned. It's long gone now, so now it's just Pepsi Zero. But yeah, and take the warning labels off and let Darwin do his work.
Exactly.
Anybody ever remember the Darwin Awards? I know they're still a thing, but in high school, I used to go on the internet early, and it was like, those were awesome.
Smart enough not to be near. We weren't smart enough not to be near the tracks.
No, not at all.
Just like we used to have this thing behind our house, and it was a big slope.
Yeah.
And at the bottom of the slope, it was a creek, and the creek was probably a good 3 foot deep. And Ontario gets cold, but it never gets cold like it does here. So we get a skim bit of ice around the top. We would take our toboggans, go down.
And go across it.
But there was times if you broke through that creek, you're wearing a snowsuit, that you'd sink right down and drown. And didn't phase us one bit.
In my hometown, do you remember where the water slide park used to be with the mini golf? Yeah. So anyway, we used to, at the bottom of that hill, there was a pond, one of the only ponds in my town. The problem is that the ocean fed into it. So it never really melted even at the best of times. Well, one time we had a really cold winter, and I really need to get Danny on the show sometime. I think he'd have a lot of fun with that. So one time Danny and I said, you know what? We need to walk across that. We're like, don't be stupid. Why would we do that? Let's go get rope first. So we went and got rope and tied it around each other's waist, and one walked across. And if one fell in, the other one, we never did, but so one walked across and the other one waited for him on the other side and the other one walked across. It made sense, right?
Well, and they did that in Sarnia too. And, because like Sarnia borders with Port Huron, and back when we were kids, the St. Clair River, that would freeze.
Could you imagine?
And you could walk across from Ontario to Michigan.
Okay.
You could just walk across the river, and they used to have like dirt bike racing and snowmobile racing and everything on this ice. But then they didn't realize, but as you went further up the river, the current was a little bit stronger, so it would freeze, but it wouldn't totally freeze. And then you would get these people trying to sneak over to the States, and they get halfway through the friggin' river and they're falling through the
Did they die?
ice. No, and then they get brushed down, and then and so like it was just, but like they had to stop doing the races eventually because it just stopped freezing.
Oh,
so
sure.
Because climate change or whatever, and we weren't paying carbon tax.
Oh,
so that prevented it from freezing.
It might fix that now. So you'd be
maybe next winter. We've been paying it, so we've been paying carbon tax. So the river should freeze next winter.
You remember where my Aunt Judy lives?
Yep.
Yep. So when I was a kid, we used to get down and hang out with my cousin Marty all the time. And across the street from them, there was a pond down there. But it wasn't on their land, but we had permission to skate on it until they made their own pond. The problem was that this pond was spring-fed. So you would skate on it, but everybody said you need to stay away from that corner because it never froze. So you'd play hockey on a pond with a spring in it. And you just had to make sure you didn't go over in the area where you'd fall through the ice.
Exactly.
We did fine. So somebody wants to say, who remembers the Guinness Book World Record show? I remember that. Do you remember Incredible Sunday or That's Incredible? That was on like CBS or ABC on Sunday nights. And they would have.
No, I don't think.
I remember a story about, those, I don't know if they're thresher machines or whatever they are. They have them big spikes on the front of them for a tractor. I remember a story, one of the kids fell and impaled themselves on it and survived.
Did you see what the rope gives you both something to stare at while you drown?
That's true. I mean, that's the type of shit we would do.
Yep.
And, let's see here. Goofy says the Tooth Fairy, if you pay the carbon tax, the weather gets more gooder. Yeah, that makes sense. Are you afraid of the dark? I remember that.
Yeah, I remember Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Dowie says, Hey Y'all Homestead. Have we seen Hey Y'all Homestead in here before? Great to have you either way. We love seeing new names. And we're, if you're new tonight, we're having our very first
trivia night.
Yeah, trivia night. It's been a lot of fun. So, yeah, so far, so good. Amy asked if you're afraid of the dark, hon.
I'm not afraid of the dark.
I love that show. It played on YTV, and I think it ended up getting picked up on like Nickelodeon or something in the States. I think our American counterparts were allowed to.
So I have a story about a horror movie.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it.
So I'm going to, in the past a little bit, Amy could probably remind me. I can't remember. I think Brian would have been about 13, 14. And he always hated horror movies. Always. And I used to make him, because I'm the oldest, so I used to make him always watch the horror movies because Amy and I loved them. So we would always make him watch horror movies. So I think the first one that we made him watch was Puppet Master.
Oh.
And he had, and of course, and Child's Play.
Yep.
So he didn't come into my room for months because my whole room used to be porcelain dolls. So, of course, after Child's Play, it would scare him. But then we watched Puppet Master, and he used to have little figures, like Ninja Turtles, He-Man, and everything. I would go in his room when he was sleeping, and I would move all the figures around just to scare the shit out of him.
You're a good sister.
I'm awesome.
Yeah.
But then, Army Guys, yeah, we used to do that. And that was from Toy Story.
Oh,
when we watched the first Toy Story, we went in and moved all the Army Guys to make it look like they were alive. So anyway, when he was like 13 or 14, he watched the Jason movies.
Right, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And I'm going to plead innocent to this one. This was not my idea. My dad went out there in the middle of the night outside his bedroom window with a hockey stick and beat on his bedroom window. It scared the living shit right out of him. He didn't sleep in his room, I don't think, for like 2 weeks. And then, and he's hated horror movies ever since. And I think that's because he's got PTSD from it.
You guys were awesome.
So the other night, he watched Evil Dead Rise. The second one.
Yep.
Evil Dead. He messaged me. He goes, I'm going to watch Evil Dead.
Right.
Then he messaged me 10 minutes later. And he goes, frig that. I'm going to watch it in the morning. He's 41, you guys. he refused to watch Evil Dead Rise at 10 o'clock at night because it was dark outside and he was scared. So he watched it at 11 o'clock in the morning and he was scared that night.
Poor Brian.
And he's 40. It was so funny. So just like, so that's a horror movie story, but that was so funny.
I got to shout out my brother Ed Shaw.
Yeah, he is a pussy.
I haven't seen him in years, but we've kept in contact. He was my old boss at the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, I remember Ed.
Yeah, Ed's worked in the radio. He pursued his dream, went back to college, did the radio thing, and it's kind of been my inspiration a little bit for the podcast as well, because he always talked so highly of pirate radio back in his college days. And you're right, Ed. I can't believe that's incredible. Only ran from 80 to 84. That's crazy. I remember that. Mom and I would watch that all the time, of course, right? So anyway, guys, for those of you who don't know, Ed is the one who gave me the nickname Conan the Librarian. And Ed, you got to know this, that we have a post-apocalyptic book club. And one of the books just recently in there, somebody was nicknamed Conan the Librarian. And it made me think of you, Ed. So I appreciate you, brother. Always good to have you on here.
So go up a little bit.
Yeah, the one.
The Changeling.
Yeah.
With George C. Scott. He is my grandfather's doppelganger.
Oh, I remember
George
you saying that.
My grandfather on my mom's side, doppelganger. Identical to looking to him.
I want to shout out.
So weird.
I want to shout out Kyle's mom too, because this is a pretty cool story. So Kyle said he was raised by a single mom, and I was her, in quotation marks, girlfriend. She watched Friends when I was little, and that's really sweet. Yeah, that's cool that your mom. Yeah, that you guys watch Friends together. That makes me smile. What do we got here? Okay. Aaron still can't watch 3 Men and a Baby because of the fake ghost that was in the window that wasn't part of the movie. Yeah. So if it makes you feel any better, Aaron, it was actually a cardboard cutout of one of the actors in the background. But the story was that it was one of the kids that died or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Freddy versus Jake.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know. I found that out afterwards too. So I was like, yeah, but it's okay. I'll still give it to you. So Ed, much love Conan. He said, but I stole it from Weir Al's UHF, and that's fine. So that is probably, of course, where that came from in the book we read.
Look at this.
Which one is it right here?
Yeah.
All right. Gunfighter said, I watched Freddy versus Jason at a friend's house. My parents didn't approve. They found out about it. The next day when I came home, I went to bed and my dad busted through the door with a machete. What an ass. What a good dad.
No, that's incredible.
Yeah, I would do that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have to traumatize your kids.
Oh, you know what? UHF, it was funny. I watched it in high school and liked it. I tried to watch it again and I couldn't watch it.
I don't know what that is.
My mop, that was the guy that plays Kramer. He played like this really weird. It was on the UHF, the Weird Al movie.
Oh, and I never watched that.
He was really good in that though. Yeah, it was pretty funny actually. But Erin says her youngest watched all of ER, but she doesn't remember it.
I stopped watching ER when
Spatula
they
City.
killed off Dr. Green.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah.
Then it started getting dumb. I started
Poltergeist.
Yeah, Poltergeist is incredible.
I wonder if I could find. Yeah, so Spatula City was a fake commercial on there too. So
yeah.
Oh, Rob, before you leave, what are you going to see in Seattle? Because most of the good bands from Seattle are all dead now. But maybe it's Pearl Jam. I doubt it though. But that's pretty cool. We do need to get to Seattle sometime and do the grunge tour. I'd really like to see that. But Rob's leaving. Yeah, that's cool. Gracie said the Simpsons Halloween episode of the evil Krusty doll. Dad had to kill the Krusty doll he had for me.
Yeah, remember you had to go.
I forgot about that.
She refused to sleep in her room, and you had to go in there and kill the Krusty doll.
Yeah, Dowie says probably homeless people crapping on the sidewalk. I didn't love Raymond Backwoods Butcher, but that's okay. Thrice, I don't know them, but enjoy it. You guys will have fun. Let's see. Hey, y'all, Homestead said, after the first Friday the 13th, my niece hid in the closet and waited until we went to bed. Scared the living crap out of me. My mom thought someone had broken into the house.
Now, see, I used to do that with my brother. when he was in his room trying to sleep,
Yep.
I'd go stand outside his door and I'd be like, kill, 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 kill. And he would get so mad. Like, it was so funny, though.
Guys, we just were at 29 live viewers. If we can get
That's
up to
awesome.
30, that's friggin' awesome. That's a big deal.
So, another question?
Sure.
All right.
Okay. This one's, you want it?
No, that one right
This one
there.
here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what was the best-selling video game console of the 1990s?
I would have 100% got this wrong. 100%. Guaranteed. I would have said Super Nintendo, and that's not the right answer. So here it is. What was the best-selling video game console of the 90s?
Echo the Dolphin on it, couldn't you?
Maybe. I thought Echo was a Sega game.
I don't
know. Oh, Flatliners. Yes, Dowie. I got a copy of Flatliners when I forget where I got a copy of that from, but no, it wasn't Flatliners.
No, it's not Sega.
You're close, Sean. But that one came out. PS2 came out in the 2000s. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And Backwoods got it. PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that PlayStation came out as early as it actually
I know, right?
did.
And I honestly, when I read the question, I thought it was going to be Nintendo.
Yeah. I thought for sure
Hands
Super
down.
Nintendo, but I forgot how much the PlayStation sold.
Yeah.
Because I was out of video games by then, right?
Yeah.
And, it was.
I loved Echo. I hated it, but I loved it. Right?
Atari.
I loved Atari too. I had Atari.
So Danny didn't have an Atari. He had a ColecoVision. Do you remember a ColecoVision?
No.
The games were interchangeable.
Oh boy.
And we used to play Burger Time, where you'd walk along the top and you'd have to knock it was like a bun and then a burger and the lettuce. You don't remember that game?
No, but I do remember this game. I can't remember what console it was for, but it was a haunted mansion. And you had to go into the mansion.
Was it like text-based a little bit?
Kinda. And it would like talk. And then you'd have to go to the kitchen, and there was like rotten food.
Hold on, I love that. It was based off the YTV TV show. It was Maniac Mansion.
Yeah, is that what the game was?
Yeah.
Because I love that game, but I could never understand how to play it.
If anybody ever played Leisure Suit Larry, it was just like Leisure Suit Larry, and you probably don't. Yeah, let me see if I can.
That one.
So it was, Maniac Mansion. I love that.
No,
I used to
what
rent
system was that? Was that?
It was. I think it was Super Nintendo. I'm pretty sure.
No,
it was NES. Here it is, right here. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, let's bring it up.
No, I never understood. I played this game all the time, but I never understood how to win it.
Wait, it was just one of those you just kept playing.
You just kept playing, but it's like there was no end, and like
I rented it a bunch. I loved it, and I couldn't make any sense out of it. Mr. Landfill played it on the C64.
Yeah, no, I must have played it on the Super NES because I played it and played it and played it, but it never had an ending.
I used to be so jealous of people that had computers back in the day because we never got our first computer till 1999. So I had to go to school or the library to learn the internet, but it was cool. That's really neat.
We didn't get our first computer till like I think it was 98.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Goofy said a lot of games were still made on NES long after it wasn't. Yeah, absolutely. So there's John Riggs I follow on YouTube. He does vintage games and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he'll do like top 10 lists of NES games that came out after the Super Nintendo was launched. It's pretty cool. Joker says, rolling on the floor, Leisure Suit Larry. You don't remember that one?
No.
It was a dirtier version of Maniac Mansion a little bit.
I might if I don't know.
Apple II playing Pole Position 2. Hell yeah. Yeah. Said, I love those games. Buddy of mine and I killed hundreds of hours playing it. Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry. Yeah. I was introduced to that in junior high.
Now, see, I don't bring it up.
Yeah,
I don't remember that one.
You probably,
I might have played it, but...
Yeah, all you got to do is type in Leisure Suit and you'll find it. Oh, that's an old... No, let's go to the original. Those are old. Original. All right.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I don't recognize
here,
that
let's
one.
bring this up here. It says, this is the hooker's seedy bedroom. The bed's a mess. Ditto the hooker. You don't remember that at all, eh?
No, I never played that one. I probably wasn't allowed.
Let's see what else we can find here. You're in a 24-hour convenience store. There is a magazine rack near the front door with a sign reading, "This no library." Oh.
No reading? Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh, we're in trouble. Okay, let's just keep... God. He has nothing to say, but says it continuously. Oh my god, we're all going to hell. It's good. Thank you for playing Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards. You screwed up this game, but you could probably do better. Come on, let's do it just one more time.
Oh my
You don't remember this, eh?
No.
Yeah, she's topless. Oh man, this is
No.
anybody
I don't
out there?
remember
We're like,
any
yeah,
of
if
that.
anybody's out there that remembers Leisure Suit Larry, what a pervert. Yeah, that was funny. Oh my god, that takes me back. Wow.
Yeah, I could see you playing something like that.
Chris Payson. He ended up being a computer programmer.
Okay.
He ended up, he's the one that introduced me to the game. I don't know how I remember. Filipino Nomad, great to have you. Yes, Leisure Suit Larry was 100% for dudes. Yes.
When the head would fall off.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember that, but yeah, that's funny. Who else? Nicholas Woodall, good to have you in here.
Oh, the Philippine Nomad said hi.
Oh, where? Yes, good to have Mike.
Yep.
They're over in the Philippines, of all places. Yeah.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I used to play that one.
I don't think I ever beat it.
No.
I want to say I got good at it, but yeah.
I don't remember. Could you beat it?
Yeah, you could. Some people
okay.
could. Yes, John Dowie. We absolutely need to make memes from Leisure Suit Larry. That one, I can't even read it out loud. I'll get canceled. Oh my god! It reminds me of the signs in the gas stations here in Alberta. It's like, wow, that is crazy. Oh my goodness! I wonder if we can find.
What's that one say?
I don't know. See if we can find.
No, the one up there with the lady. That one
right here.
Yeah.
This is a later version of it, but I don't know. Yeah, that's could never beat it. Yeah, couldn't beat something. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it back in the day for sure. Let's see if we can find the worst quotes from Leisure Suit Larry. Let's see what we can find here, guys. It's an OnlyFans. It's something, that's for sure. No, we can't. It's all the new stuff. We'll leave it for now. Post it in Telegram. Yes, we will. Absolutely. Bubble Bobble. Remember Bubble Bobble? It was so my buddy Alex had 31-in-1 for Nintendo. So you used to be able to get these. They were aftermarket cartridges that would have all kinds of games on them. Had like Excite Bike and Ice Climber, Dig Dug. Don't remember any of those?
No.
Yeah, they were all on there. So it was pretty cool. Want to ask a few more questions?
Yes, let's get some more questions.
All right. Go ahead there, Mrs. Cook. Read it.
That's not my question. Oh, yeah. No, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Okay. Who is the Sesame Street star who was tickled with laughter and became the Christmas 1996 must-have toy?
And inspired a film with Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It did.
Yes. Yes, Dowie Farm. I loved Excite Bike.
Elmo,
Mr. Landfill. Yeah, we got. Yeah, we'll give it. Yeah, Mr. Landfill. Goofy Roofy says Mega Man 2. I had a babysitter that she used to babysit for us quite often, and she would bring games with her once in a while. And she introduced me to the Mega Man games. I didn't love them, but I got into them after a while. Tickle your mom.
Oh, well, see, I was going to give you a point, Sean.
we still can. My granddaughter's afraid of me. Yeah.
I hate Sesame Street.
So, me and the girls may or may not have done some urban exploring in an abandoned hotel last summer. We may or may not have been upstairs walking in a dark hallway and found an Elmo on the floor. That was one of the creepiest things I've
Elmo
ever seen.
is creepy.
So,
there's nothing natural about him at all.
Skipped school to play California games one time. Was that a Genesis? I think that might have been a Genesis game. I can't remember for sure, but let's just say I wasn't spraying my bleeping arm. Oscar's my hero. All right. You want to read this one? Okay, go ahead there, Mrs. Cook.
Okay. Originally given the Japanese title Puckman, what 1980s arcade game was inducted into the Guinness Books of Records as the most successful coin-operated game?
Puckman. I wonder what it could be. Oh, there we go.
Pac-Man.
Amy got it. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So my local, we had a place where all the teenagers hung out in high school, junior high, called Vicky's Convenience Store. And it's closing this week after 30 years of being open. And she had the best. We didn't call it. Jesus Christ. We didn't call it poutine back then. They just called it fries, cheese, and gravy. And so they had a small and they had a large. The large wasn't big enough for Alex, whom I went to school with. He liked it so much that he asked them to make them a double. So it was a big platter of French fries. They turned it over. So they called it the Big Al in his name. Anyway, we had a Mortal Kombat and a Mortal Kombat 2 game there. And I would have loved to have gotten the Mortal Kombat 2 game out of there because I would want to know how many quarters. Yes, Big Alex Hilton, we'll shout him out. He's still kicking around.
We do have a Chuck E. Cheese. There's a couple in Edmonton. And we take the girls to it all the time, but the food is disgusting.
The place is so scuzzy. Oh my God.
And the food is so gross.
Yes.
And the salad bar is actually pretty good.
The only place
so expensive.
The only place you can go and spend $400 and come out still hungry, and you're like, really?
And a couple bags of cotton candy and some bouncy balls.
You're like, oh, I spent $400. What do you have to show for it? Well, we have one computer printed picture, 4 bouncy balls, and a toy plane that broke on the way to the truck. Pretty much, yep.
And those pixie powder sticks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yes. Chuck E. Cheese in New Hampshire. George the Frogger Machine in Seinfeld, yes. K-Bonk's wondering, why did they change the name? Which one? What are we asking? What did they change the name?
Oh, maybe for Pac-Man?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yes, Frogger, that was a lot of fun. I remember on a badminton trip, we went to Sydney, Nova Scotia, but it was up in Cape Breton, and we stayed at a hotel that had a pool with a bunch of arcades, and they had one of those tabletop Frogger machines.
Yep.
Oh, those
I like
cool.
the tabletop Pac-Man machines.
Yes, I'd love to get one of those.
They used to have an arcade in the Lambton Mall off the food court.
Okay.
And if you didn't have a ton of money and you were playing Pac-Man, if you kept winning, you kept getting free games.
Right.
And they used to have a racing game too, where you had, like, it had a wheel
and
everything. No word of a lie, I would get so into those games to win. I'd have, like, friggin' sweat coming down my forehead. I'm like, you gotta win. I'd be so into them. And just to see how many free plays I could get off of one quarter. That was how pathetic it was.
So Haas says if you hit the coin entry hard enough, you got free games. So, you know the rink back home in Digby?
Yep.
For a short period of time, they played around with having an arcade set up upstairs in the rink. They had a pool table that you had to put 4 quarters in or 3 to play, right?
Yep.
We discovered, don't ask me how we discovered this, but the table was close enough to the wall that when you slid the coin thing in, you know how you put the coins like a washing machine? When you slid it in, if you jammed a pool stick up against it between the wall and that, when the pool balls would come down, they would just come back out. And so we'd play for free all afternoon. It was awesome. I don't know how we come up with that, but well, you know what? All right, here's everybody remember Pepsi Points?
Yep.
Okay. When they first brought out Pepsi Points, it was the first time. Remember how the liners always used to be gray, right?
Yep.
Well, Pepsi wanted to be fancy, and they came out with translucent blue. So we spent the entire part of a summer going around, and if you tipped the Pepsi up just at the right angle and looked up under the liner, you could see the free ones. We drank free Pepsi for about 3 months until they caught on and they changed the color.
We used to go to the pool in Sarnia. It wasn't the Jackson pool, it was the Canatera pool.
Okay.
And there was a little corner store, and we would go there with just a little bit of change, and we would have chips and pop. And every time we bought the pop, one of them was always a free winner.
Oh,
so we'd go back in and get our free pop. But then they started giving, and remember they used to give away the free bags of chips too.
Yes.
It's so like, it'd be like, okay, you're getting 1 pop and 1 chips, but then you get all the free, and we're like, oh yeah, we're getting all those too. And we'd sit there and just, it was like all the free pop and chips.
Nate says he wants an old pinball machine. I want one. You know I want one in the worst way. Now, I've heard stories, a lot of the retro guys that I watch say that the problem with the pinball machine is it's like 1 hour of playing and 50 hours of maintenance. They said all the old ones are getting so hard to upkeep, but I would...
Pinball I find is really boring.
Oh, I love pinball.
I don't know.
I just love it, yeah.
I like games that you get more out of it.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
I never knew you could do this. Philippine Nomad said we used to string the pinball machines, thread and scotch tape at the Bowling Alley arcade. Could you imagine that broke off and the poor guy that had to come and service it, and he's like, "Them stupid kids with that damn thread."
Right?
Did you ever hear about the Monopoly scam?
I did hear about it. I didn't even think.
There's a whole thing out there now, right? So, yeah, Dowie, I would too. Our neighbor, when we first moved here, bought an old 45 jukebox, and I helped him carry it to the basement. I wouldn't mind having one of those either. That would be pretty cool, actually. All right, next question.
All right.
This one, baby?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Babyland General Hospital was the birthplace of what line of collectible dolls that was a huge hit in the 1980s and included an individual birth certificate for each doll.
Yes, I never had
and
one.
I had one, and I actually have a picture of me taken with it when I was like 4 or 5. And I still have the picture, and I think I still have the doll. She had long.
Gracie was close. She said Carrot Patch.
I think
kid.
she meant Cabbage
Yeah.
Patch.
Goofy got it. Cabbage Patch Kids. Amy,
Yeah.
yep. Gracie, Cabbage Patch for Hey Y'all. Are we still keeping points?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go back through.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I am keeping points.
Cabbage Patch. Yeah, my dad used to call them Garbage Patch Kids, and then of course they had the Garbage Patch thing.
Yeah.
He used to love my Garbage Pail Kids. I love Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah.
Ed, they were awesome. Coralie, my cousin, she used to bring a Cabbage Patch Kid to the church every Sunday, and Dad would call it a Garbage Patch Kid, and she would get so mad.
Mine had long blonde hair, and because it matched my hair.
Yeah.
And then when I had my picture done, I had like this white and blue 80s dress on, and she had the matching dress, and I remember my picture with it.
Dowie wants to know if anybody remembers the creepy as fuck, my buddy.
I actually
My goodness.
I had the sister.
Oh, I didn't know there was a sister.
Cricket.
Really?
I don't know if it's a sister, but I had Cricket. And yeah, no, I think that it was his sister.
Okay.
She had blonde hair, and you put the tape in her, and it was so great when she would be playing, and then the batteries would start dying, and she'd be like, woo, 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 and her mouth would be going, and it would be all these creepy noises coming out of her.
So somebody wanted to know.
Amy said she was a scary bitch.
Where is it here?
She was, right? Like,
somebody wanted to know about the Garbage Pail Kids, right? Or cards, right? Where was I seeing it in here? Used to collect the cards. Somebody wanted to know who made them. Anyway, it was. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I already got it on the screen. Dowie wanted to know if it was Mad Magazine. It was Tops. I remembered reading. I had to look it up, but they got sued by Cabbage Patch Kids. They had to change their design a little bit.
I used to collect those cards.
It was Art Spiegelman. I just looked it up there. I've watched a few videos on it over the years, but they were cool, weren't they? They come up with some of the weirdest things.
And you know what's fun? I had the Cricket doll, I think, until Olivia was little.
Yes, sir.
And then we got rid of her because Olivia was scared to death of her.
Does anybody remember the Tops dinosaur cards? I love those things.
So.
They were.
I wasn't a card collector.
It was in the early 80s or in the mid 80s. So I was in the early elementary school, and I had it was like a dinosaur card where the dinosaur was chomping through a dude.
I remember those.
Yeah.
And they were right bloody and gory.
Yes.
I never collected them, but I used to look at them because they were because it was like kind of like you shouldn't have been looking at them.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I remember somebody brought them to school, and I'm like, these are the greatest fucking things I've ever seen.
Oh, and they're really
let's see
descriptive.
If we can. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can find something.
Yeah, like
here,
ripping
guys.
people in half, and it was pretty.
I don't know if we can find any of the better ones, but yeah, it was like this type of thing. You know, roller coaster going into the dinosaurs. They were awesome. How about Pogs? Oh yeah.
Yeah, we collected Pogs, but these dinosaur cards, I
wish I
think
could
we
find
were.
There's one right there. Look at that.
We weren't
guys.
allowed to take those to school.
Homeroom horror as he's biting a kid in half. Anybody on the audio only is like, what the hell are they looking at tonight?
Oh yeah, they
love
were crazy
these.
cards.
And this was like a little kid shooting a bazooka through a friggin' dinosaur. They were some of the cool. I loved that.
Yeah, no, they were cool.
Oh, that one's sad, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were funny. Yeah. All right. So what do we got here now? Let's go back just a little bit. There was one I wanted to bring up. Oh, so Dowie Farm said that my buddy, they sang the same song for Kid Sister. It was very creative marketing. Let's see.
I had to have a Cricket doll, but she was creepy.
Mike said, back in high school, we sold Cabbage Patch dolls at our drugstore. It was worse than Black Friday sales. I bet. Remember Glowworm?
And you remember when, we had glowworms. But you remember when the Cabbage Patch they came back out?
Yep.
And everybody had to have them?
My daughter had what they called walking dolls after Chucky came. Excuse me. I used to turn them face down when I cleaned the room. Too creepy. Oh yeah.
I used to get that with my porcelain dolls. I had this one. His name was Punch the Clown, and after the first It movie came out, he went right back in his box, and he was in my closet because that clown was creepy. And I know Amy would remember him too because I think it scared her. He had that big flower pot on his head, and he had the flowers, and he had like this big creepy smile and these big black shoes, and he was white and red, and was like, nah, that guy's got to go away. But all these porcelain dolls would just sit there.
Porcelain
and they would
dolls
just stare at you. And it was,
So my buddy Alex, so he lived with his grandparents, and they would go out of town quite often for a weekend, and he wasn't allowed to have friends over. Well, but we still did, of course. And so one time his mother collected all these porcelain figurines, and she had them on this on this beautiful shelf, in her kitchen. And one time I was up in the kitchen, Alex was downstairs. I turned every single one of them around backwards. It took her weeks to notice, and he got in so much shit. So Haas wants to know about Pogs. You remember Pogs? Round,
we had Pogs. I remember the metal ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those hurt when you threw them at people.
So one of the creepiest things I ever remember, downtown Digby, I'm walking down, and you know where Ricardo's is. It's the pizza joint. There's apartments up there. And I'm going by, and I see the front door, and there's a handwritten sign that says Pogs upstairs. And I'm like, nope, not going to do it.
Just like free puppies.
I'm like, there is no way I'm going upstairs in the apartment building above a pizza joint for free Pogs. Nope, not happening.
Why not?
Never did Magic the Gathering, Mr. Landfill, but I had friends who did it for sure.
Yeah, never did Magic. No.
Namagotchi pets, remember them? My sister was into them.
I remember them, but we never had them.
Yes. Oh my God. Dowie says, I still have a complete collection of the Desert Storm trading cards. Norman Schwarzkopf. Storm and Norman was worth top dollar back in the day. They were pro set. I remember they were the hottest thing in like 1990 or 91. Do you remember that?
No.
No? Oh my goodness.
Well,
let's see if we can. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I was so big into cards, but Storm and Norman, let's see, pro set, I think. See if we can find the card here. Trading card. Anybody else remember those? The Desert Storm cards? Because maybe it wasn't. Yeah, there it is, right there. Let's bring it up.
Oh no, I don't.
You don't remember them at all?
Not at all.
Oh wow, yeah. So there it is. That was Storm and Norman. He was a leader from Desert Storm. They did an entire. Isn't that something? Yeah, I was like, yeah. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That's the type of stuff I was into back in the day. Yeah, that's why John Dowie and I ever get along. Do you ever watch The Man and He Collects the Figures? You know what that? I don't know. No. Had those two. Where is it? Amy?
Clown.
Yeah, clown. Which clown?
That was Punch. I had him on a thing, and I think I still have him. I think he's in a white box.
John Dowie tried to kill a Furby once that someone left at the Hooters I ran. It was creepy, and it wouldn't stop. That sounds like the
Furbies are creepy.
Anybody see that Nicolas Cage movie? Oh, it was really good. I watched it on the airplane where he doesn't say a word the entire movie.
Oh, is that Pig?
Nope.
No.
He goes in. He gets put into like a Chuck E. Cheese, and he spends the entire night killing all these animatronics.
I know which one. I can't remember the name.
It's a good film, actually. Fastest time for Rubik's 3.1 set. Oh my goodness. Just us, Tim. Yeah, I know, Dowie. It's okay. Storm and Norman. He was something else. Propaganda card. You're right, they were. Absolutely. No, it wasn't It's just a recent movie. Con Air. Let's see here. Nick Cage kills animatronics. It's called Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland.
And it is actually a pretty damn good movie. It is. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's, Amy. It's probably not big enough, or probably too old for Noah to watch yet. But
he'd probably watch it. Though.
Yeah, he would. Here it is, right here. It's a cool movie. He the entire movie, he kills animatronics and drinks monster drinks. It's pretty funny. Yes. So, Philippine Nomad said the original Pogs were made from cardboard juice containers sold in Hawaii, passion fruit. Now, in Canada, where they started from, was the cardboard liners on the top of glass milk jugs. That's really cool. I like that. Dowie, yeah, it's a good movie, Dowie. It's good. I mean, it's weird, but I enjoyed it.
Well, it's Nick Cage. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, he is what he is. I like Nick Cage.
Haas says still has his keyboard, monitor, software, mags, floppy drive, modem, cassette. That must be for the Commodore 64. I love the old computers. Let's bring this back up here. All right. What one do you want to...
Okay. All right. So...
Everybody will know this.
Everybody should know this one.
Not me, though, because I'm...
All right. What 1985 video game begins with a planned departure from Independence, Missouri?
I wouldn't have known this, but all my American friends talk. You didn't play this game, did you, or did you?
No, I planned it because I know you have. There's a lot of Americans on here.
Dowie, are you serious? You don't know what a Pog is, or you're just being a smart ass? Because like 1996, maybe. What year Oregon failed, Dowie said. Yeah. Nate, Jokerleys. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What year did Pogs come back big? They were, yeah. It was in the 90s. Pogs get big. There we are. All right. Pogs.
Amy, Gracie said Mario.
Mario.
Independence, Missouri, Gracie, really?
So, Dowie, I'm going to bring these up. You don't remember Pogs. It was the craziest. It was like, is it a shoe?
He's being a smart
All right,
ass.
yeah. So, and there was drinks.
The
and then
slammers.
The slammers. As soon as I see them, I'm like, I remember slammers. There they are. That's hilarious. Yeah, I love those. They were fun back in the day.
All right, let's do another question.
All right, here we go. Sounds like a dollar store version of Crocs. Oh my God. Past your bedtime. Here we are. All right. Go ahead, baby.
Okay.
You want me to
Who
read
doesn't love him?
All right.
Okay. What Georgia-born wrestler is known as the most famous wrestler of the 1980s? Has 13 world championship belts.
Oh, yeah, brother.
And began pivoting his career towards acting with an appearance in Rocky III as a heel.
Okay. We need to put quotation marks around acting. Because just because somebody does it doesn't mean they're good at it. We didn't have Pogs in the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Rocky. Close. The Hulk Hogan. Oh, yeah. What are you going to do, brother? When Hulkamania runs wild on you.
I loved Hulk. It was so
awesome.
funny.
Yeah.
Especially when he would get down on the ground and he'd start doing the shaking and ripping his shirt.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
Don't rip your shirt.
No, I won't. That's okay. Yeah, that would be turned into a meme for sure. So, okay.
You can read the next one.
I don't know this one.
Okay. What is the name of the talking animatronic toy that was...
Thunderlips.
that was Illop, but quite closely resembled a bear?
I don't know what.
The toy reached peak popularity in the 1980s and helped aid the launch of 1986 Nintendo Entertainment System.
I didn't know that. And it was the bear, right? Did we say it was a bear?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You put a tape in the back of it.
Yeah.
And I hated him.
I hated him too.
Yeah. Didn't he have was it a ship that floated or something? Or my
Yep, there you
Dowie
go.
Farm, Teddy Ruxpin. Yeah. Eat your vitamins and say your prayers, little Hulkamaniacs.
Right. My dad loved Hulk.
Oh, I did too. I was, yeah. My grandfather, so growing up, we used to get Atlantic Grand Prix wrestling. So it was like the Nova Scotian, the Maritimes version of wrestling.
Yeah.
We used to get it on TV in the afternoon on Sundays. And my grandmother used to swear he didn't know it was fake. And he would get so mad and she'd tell him, "You got to calm down, Wilford, or you're going to have a heart attack." It was awful. Yes, vitamins were otherwise known as steroids. So, all right.
All right.
Do you want to?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. The Cuban Assassin. Oh, I remember the Cuban Assassin. Yes.
A Nike shoe designer was involved in the design and production of a pair of character costume boots for a blockbuster 1980s movie starring Michael Keaton. What was the movie?
And he is revisiting that character in a new movie coming out today, actually.
Oh, there's Angus.
Yep. He said, yes, I know, I'm the Flash. Hulk Hogan. Yeah, Hulk Hogan. Batman. Yes.
Batman, yes.
The original Batman from 1989. We're going to make it through all these questions. I didn't think we would. Back to the Future. All right, these are my questions
Those are
again.
your questions. Yep.
All right. Who remembers? What do you want?
Come see Mom.
Three's Company. So, the original landlord on Three's Company was Mr. Roper, but he left after 2 seasons because he moved on up. Does anybody know what the name of the replacement landlord was? John Volpe. I don't know who John Volpe is. Do you know John Volpe?
I used to put random tapes in my
Oh,
pocket,
sure,
too, like
yes.
Michael Jackson and stuff.
Yes, that was
so
awesome.
funny.
Don Knott. Yeah, Mr. Furley. There you go. Byron
Yep.
Roberts got Mr. Furley. Oh, Nicholas Woodall also. Yes. All right. Let's go back. You want to do a discussion question again here? Hang on. We'll bring something up. All right. All right, everyone. This is an easy one because I already know the answer. Star Wars or Star Trek? And there's only one right answer, and it's Star
Wars.
Trek. Asshole.
Star Wars.
So, yes, you get 1 point if you get it right. But for everybody out there, growing up, was it Star Wars or Star Trek? For me, I lived and breathed Star Trek The Next Generation. when they did Best of Both Worlds, and oh yeah, Gracie said Star Trek. See, that's why she's my daughter. And Spaceball. Nate says Spaceballs. That's the best answer ever, brother. Hey, y'all says Star Trek. Goofy says Star Wars. Dowie says Star Trek sucks. Yeah,
How did you not love Ewoks? Like, they were odd. Star Trek is so boring.
You're a nerd, Dowie. Why not both? Because you're not allowed to. Simple as that. Because we have to have conflict on a show. It helps push the algorithms. Yeah. Original trilogy. There's no stun in Star Wars, yes. But Han shot first, didn't he? So I loved Next Generation. I watched it. It was such a big deal. And went, yes, George Jefferson was moving on up. I'm glad somebody got that. So, yes, the Ewoks were pretty cute.
love the Ewoks movie.
This guy right here looks like an Ewok.
He does look like an Ewok.
Yes. All right. So, yeah, I was a Star Trek guy. Although I have to say, I thought Star Wars was boring when I was a kid. And then you introduced me to Star Wars, and I kind of liked it. Yeah. So, Star Trek, the original Star Trek with Shatner, used to play around supper time on CBC when I was a kid.
Now,
so
see,
we used to watch
my dad used to watch Star Trek. Now, Amy would remember when we first went to Florida.
Oh, yes.
It was so funny. We were all walking through Disney World. Or Disney, what's in Florida? Is it Disneyland or Disney World? I think it's Disney World. So we're all walking through Disney World, and all of a sudden my dad just...
Does it sit right here? Caravan of Courage? No.
That's the Ewok movie. Okay. I love that movie. But my dad takes off. We don't know where he is. And then next thing you know, he reappears, and he's right proud of himself. Failed to mention that it costs like $150 to do.
And this was in 1980s dollars, right?
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
He did a remake of the Star Trek. Remember, Amy, with the VHS? And he's standing there, and they're like, and you could see...
Your dad was such a geek.
And he's standing there with a Star Trek thing on. He goes, not while I'm holding this proton detonator. And it's like, those were his lines to what were those Gorgs or whatever? The ones with the brown...
Ferengi? Or no, Klingons?
Klingons, yes. I called them Gorgs, didn't I? Sorry. But the Klingons, and they had them in there, and then when he says that, he's holding his hand out, and they're all like, and then it has like this cheesy blow-up thing in the back.
Ed just settled it for us. He said the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek is Star Wars is real. It's a historical account from a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Well,
there you go.
I'm convinced.
You
all
lose.
Right. Yeah. And next thing you're going to tell me the friggin' Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
All right, what do we got here? Goofy Roofy says, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor. Pick your occupation. Spaceballs was pretty good. So Haas, I got to go along with this. Said I can still smell the liver my mom cooked when Star Trek came on. So in my house, kitchen's here, open to the living room. We all ate supper together. Dad would always cook crumbled hamburger with onions in it. He knew I hated onions, but the whole house smelled of crumbled hamburger with onions. And I would sit there and watch Star Trek, picking the onions out of my hamburger, and I'd be like, "Oh, what's happening?" You know.
Well, you remember he used to do that later on, and then he started adding mushroom soup.
Oh,
and then it was the famous, "Oh, Tim, this is the best thing ever. You have to try this."
Tim, I really doctored up the hamburger this time. Oh, or the craft dinner. He's like, yeah, it's really good. He said, I put hamburger and tomato soup in my craft dinner. I'm like, okay.
I really
doctored it up this time, Tim.
Oh, I went all out this time.
Oh, he's such an awesome dude. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Dowie says, I still can't eat liver because they used to overcook it. And I tried. I've tried so many times. And yeah, it's funny. Gourmet. Yeah, absolutely gourmet. Gourmet craft dinner. So if anybody knows the classic band Bare Naked Ladies, if I had $1 million, they would still eat craft dinner, but with, what was it, gourmet ketchups or gourmet mustards? Yeah.
Yeah, so
there it is. Fancy gourmet ketchup.
So his dad's recipe is Kraft mac and cheese, or KD.
Dowie says it's the most Canadian. Yes, because they call it Kraft macaroni and cheese, don't they? And we call it, anyway.
KD. So he makes the boxes of Kraft dinner, and in a frying pan, he fries up hamburger and tomato, or hamburger and onion. And then he adds that to the Kraft dinner and dumps a can of tomato soup in it, adds a little bit of salt and pepper, and he thinks it's a gourmet meal.
It's actually not that bad, I have to say. But yeah.
I hate Kraft dinner. Yeah. It's like
Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yes.
But he was so proud of himself when he discovered this. He was so proud of him.
Pee-wee's Playhouse. I always remember Well, if you love Caesar salad so much, why don't you marry it? Mac and cheese. Yeah, you guys call it mac and cheese. And
Yeah, we call it Katie.
Dowie says we call it what poor people eat. Good point.
Really though, but it's friggin' expensive. Like,
Well, it is now. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I used to buy it for the kids when they were younger, and we could get it on sale for 47 cents a box. I just bought some the other day, and it was $1.99 a box.
Dad's like,
That's ridiculous.
you know what we're gonna have tonight, Tim? Fried bologna.
or his crumbled hamburger and onion with mushroom soup
yes.
on bread.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's like shit on a shingle. But or there used to, I kind of like this, but again, poor people food. It used to be bread and butter with molasses on it. And
gross.
I think the same carton of molasses is still sitting on mom and dad's shelf at home. The thing was like 42 years old. The only thing older was the box of shortening that they had. But seriously, we just had this 1 liter or quart carton of molasses that set up on the shelf above the sink, and we just pull it out every couple of years, and we'd have bread and butter with molasses on it. It was Dowie says, "Oh, well, see, we're playing who was poorer than the other person now because poor Dowie had to eat generic store brand craft dinner."
Yeah, there's my dad's famous meal: pork chops, cream corn, and boiled potatoes.
Bologna. Oh my God. Fried bologna takes me back. I can't even. It just makes my skin crawl.
Our oldest girl, Olivia, loves fried bologna. When she was little, I used to cook it like this big, but cut it really thick, and I'd fry it and cut it up with eggs. That thing ate it like it was going out of style. I used to buy the bologna in the big, huge things because that's all she would eat. And I bet you she'd kill it now if you gave it to her.
I'm going to tell you a story here. So Amy is talking about pork chops, cream corn, and boiled potatoes. Now, that's what Mike, God rest his soul, Becky's dad, used to eat all the time. So we stayed...
Like, not all the time, like every night.
We stayed with her parents for about 6 months while we were fixing up the house that we bought. Every night I would come home. We pulled into the driveway one night, and I looked at Becky and I said, if there's goddamn pork chops, cream corn, and boiled potatoes for supper again tonight, I'm going to lose my collective shit. And I'm pretty sure I went to bed without eating because I walked in that house and that's all that man ever ate was cream corn, boiled potatoes, and pork chops.
And that's what was me. Because when we walked in, I started laughing with a bottle of Pepsi.
Oh.
I walked in and started laughing because Tim's like, what the fuck? I'm going to bed, and he just went right upstairs.
Mike had no kneecaps, no knees, right?
Just one leg.
Yeah, and so he would just sit on the couch all day, and he had a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi sitting on the floor next to him, and he'd sit there and he'd open up. So Jokerly's, do you remember Grey Poupon?
Mm-hmm.
In the 90s, we used to go to badminton tournaments all across the province. And I remember one time when that was all popular, we pulled up to a light, thought we were the funniest teenagers in the world, and had them roll down their windows and asked if they had any Grey Poupon. Yes. Some people are like that. They can eat the same meal. Yeah, it's true. Yozik says his fiance makes rice rolls with Spam, a.k.a. sushi.
They do that in Hawaii, too.
Yes, Goofy Roofy, just like Cotton on King of the Hill.
He was only missing one kneecap.
Yeah, it's true.
He had no kneecap in one leg.
He fell off of scaffolding from like 30 feet up, right?
Yeah, he had no kneecap.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't excuse his poor taste in food. And the pork chops weren't even seasoned.
No.
They were just cooked on a pan with some salt and pepper. That was it. It's not like they were cooked.
But the dude had smoked his entire life. I don't know how he could taste anything.
No, he didn't.
4 pounds of pepper on everything he ate.
Because he had no taste buds.
You just keep putting the pepper on it, putting the pepper. And I just sitting back and I'd forget. Yeah, I love John Dowie. He eats a microwave hot dog 4 times a week. So I don't know if anybody knows this. Yes, Ed Shaw. Oh my goodness. We'll bring that up in a second. Sliced American cheese. So cheese slices.
How many packs you brought back?
I brought back like 12 packages of American cheese slices from the U.S.
No, it was more than 12.
It was
the individual packs that had about 12 slices or 15 slices in them. And then it was the 2 big boxes with 90 slices in them.
So American cheese slices are totally different from Canadian.
Yeah.
And they're so much better. So Ed Shaw, absolutely. I remember my mom. So Ed says, does anybody remember the Star Trek mini trading cards from Hostess Chips? You want to believe I do. And Mom used to clean for a guy that collected them, and I used to steal them from him.
Bootlegging cheese. He really is. He's bootlegging it in his cooler. And when we got back, we were unpacking in the kitchen, and Charlotte looks at him. She's like, for frig's sakes, Dad, how much cheese do you need? So we've got a whole drawer full of American cheese plus 2 90 packs on the shelf.
Absolutely. Here it is, guys. This is Ed. This is just for you, brother. Hang on here. Let's bring it up.
They're going to alert customs next time.
Look. Oh, no. That's Pogs again. Oh, stop screen. Share screen. Okay, here we go. 1 second, guys. Share screen. So if anybody remembers these were awesome. I don't know if they had them in the States or not, but those were the blue Star Trek Next Generation cards. I bought so many chips just to have them. But I discovered later on, I don't know if you guys had these in the States, but 2 things. We had hamburger buns that had round baseball cards in them, and we had Pepsi 2-liter bottles that had packs of cards in the early 90s, and all they did was hang them around.
Yeah, I remember those.
And I used to walk into the grocery store as like a 7-year-old, and I'd be like, yoink, yoink, and I'd fill my pockets with them. It was so bad. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, so Goofy, this is another great Canadian conversation. I've never had them, but my dad would always say, Tim, back in the 70s, Hostess had cherry, grape, and orange flavored chips. And there you are, Goofy Roofy. I love to hear that. Yes. Jeff says he remembers those cards. Yeah. And never had Hostess chips. They were big. Ed, I'm going to say, did you guys have Hostess chips in Ontario? Okay. They're Canadian anyway, but yeah, they
were gross.
I liked them. But
I think we didn't mind the dill pickle ones, but they were really, I found they were really salty, and they were overcooked. Like they could like crack your teeth.
Yes.
Kind of like the Miss Vicky's chips now.
Here, guys, let's bring this one up for you. There you go. So I don't remember these. These were from the 70s, but Dad worked at a grocery store and he remembers them. And he said they were cherry, orange, and grape chips. To me, they sound like they took chips and dipped them in Kool-Aid powder.
That's so gross.
Oh, Coke 2. I do not remember Coke 2 at all. I remember.
You got to remember Crystal Pepsi.
Oh, yes. Right now.
I drank Crystal Pepsi like it was going out of style.
Now, I remember New Coke because of, what's his name? Max Headroom. Remember you don't remember. I always got him mixed up with, the guy that sang, anyway, it doesn't matter, but it was funny. Dowie says, could have misremembered. I don't remember Coke 2.
No.
That's crazy. Let's just see if Google knows anything about Coke 2. Coke 2, here you go, was a, maybe Coca-Cola C2, a low-calorie version of Coca-Cola introduced in 2004, including high fructose corn syrup. How could it be low calorie? Oh, John Dowie, you're not wrong. Let's bring this up here. Holy cow, that's a deep dive. Right here. New Coke, the reformulation of Coca-Cola introduced in 85 and renamed to Coca-Cola 2 in 1992.
Okay.
I bet it was something just on the East Coast, like in New England or something.
Yeah, but high fructose corn syrup. How's that
Coca-Cola C2, a low-calorie version of Coca-Cola.
How's that low calorie?
Using high fructose corn syrup. Oh my goodness. I love it. There you go. No, did I confuse? No, I'll show you who I confused Max Headroom with, because in my head, he says he's only semi-retired. I love you, John. No, it was, anyway, I'll find it after. I'll yammer on too long without it. So the little pop with the balls in it, that was Orbeez.
Orbeez.
They brought that back to Canada recently. Yes.
And clearly Canadian.
Yes.
That was my go-to drink in high school. Clearly Canadian.
John Dowie said Saturday Night Live did the Crystal Gravy commercials. Yes. Byron Roberts, how did you know? It was Robert Plant that did I think it was the New Coke commercials. What was that song that he had the women behind him dancing? It was,
I don't know.
Anyway, that's really funny. I don't know how you knew. That's who I got him mixed up with, but did they put real Coke in Coke? Way back in the day they did.
Yeah, in the 1800s, yeah.
Goofy Roofy said, yep, was a Cuban guy who invented New Coke that claimed it tasted better than the original Coke in blind tests, closer to Pepsi, and it was cheaper for them and needed less of it. Crystal Pepsi, yes.
I loved Crystal Pepsi. That was that and
Robert Palmer. That's it. Yes, not Robert Plant, Robert Palmer. Oh my God. That's hilarious. Because he did, was it New Coke commercials as well? So, yeah.
Now, the original Crystal Pepsi when we were kids tastes a lot better than that new one they tried bringing back.
Yes.
It doesn't taste the same.
Now, it was sweeter than I remembered, actually. But so, yeah, Robert Palmer, he did a pop commercial. What commercial was it? Was it Coke or was it Pepsi? I think it was Pepsi, now that I think about it. But let's see. Addicted to Love. Yeah. On here. See if we can find if it'll even load up for me. Blasphemy.
How would you like to maximize your company's return on ad spend? Be like John. He's a digital marketer at a large furniture retailer. His company advertises with Google Ads to reach new customers across the Google network.
Yeah, we do.
That way,
we have
the people they're targeting can find the right furniture while searching.
No,
not like it used to, because
browsing on Google
the peach
Shopping
one was my favorite, but now when you drink it, it leaves like this funny coating on your teeth, and I don't know, it just doesn't have the same. Maybe it's because I'm older now, and when you're younger, you can eat sugar like it's going out of style.
All right, let's see. Ads running. Oh, did it stop playing, guys? I think I killed it in the background. I can't hear if it's. Yeah.
We'll stop bringing them up.
There you, oh, you be quiet. There we go. Yeah, somebody will hear it on the podcast recording afterwards. So, okay. Next commercial or next trivia question. All right. Can anybody name? You guys ready for this one? The 2 spinoffs from Beverly Hills 90210. The original Beverly Hills 90210 spinoffs, not the new ones that they brought back around, but yes. So one of them's really easy and the other one is much more difficult.
I don't remember the other one.
I do remember it. I didn't watch it, but I remember it playing. So what was the Canadian soda they made? I don't know about the Canadian soda, but does anybody remember OK Soda? We had it in the Maritime. Yeah, Amy's got one, Melrose Place. The next one's the hard one.
Yep.
This is a trick question for Pride Month.
Might be.
It could be. I mean, Dowie, you're the one that brought it up. I'm just saying, brother. He's the one talking about bologna earlier. So Melrose Place, yes. Now, who can remember the second one? You might have to do some Googling to find this one. So Jolt Cola, yes. We had, Pop
we had
Shop
Jolt.
too, but Jolt, you could only get it in like college towns and stuff. So Gracie said The Mandalorian. I love you, darling. Oh my goodness. Surge soda. I remember Surge as well. But Jolt Cola, as far as I know, was like the first added caffeine because you couldn't. So in Canada for years, you couldn't add caffeine to anything unless it already existed in there. The OC, no, but it was similar to the OC. They both came out in the mid 90s, almost the same time. See if anybody can figure it out. This is a tough one. I didn't know if I'd catch people with this one or not. Let's see if I can. All the sugar and twice the caffeine. Yes, I love that. Did you guys have Jolt Cola in the States? I'm thinking they must have, eh? They kept trying to ban Jolt. Okay, so they must have. Yeah, let's see if I can. Does anybody remember this?
Oh.
Yeah, there it is, Byron. That's right. Models. Yeah, it was Models Incorporated is what it was. So I don't
remember that one at all.
What's that? Models Incorporated?
Yeah.
No, that's all right. So let's bring this up. This was a Gen X soda through and through. It was because it was like so bland and it was anti-capitalist or whatever, you know? So, well, that was the idea, but I think it was made by Pepsi or Coke. I'm not really sure which one it was, but there it is. Does anybody remember this? OK Soda. We had it in the Maritimes, and I think it was in down Dowie's way too for a little while. It was in the mid to late 90s, and it was good. I loved the taste, but it didn't last very long. Yozik, I think, remembers it. We didn't have knee-high soda in Canada as a kid. I used to think Radar asked for a grape knee-high. Okay, whoops, what else do we have here? Jeff Stark, I bought 6 packs in Winnipeg to take back to University in Waterloo for the engineering students. That must have been Jolt Cola. Yeah, I remember going to Halifax. I used to buy it up there. Nobody remembers OK, except for, I think, Yozik. Yozik, are you saying yes for remembering OK Soda? Because it was a very short-lived thing. We had a pop machine at a school nearby me. That was the only one that I'd ever seen, but it was good. I enjoyed it for the short period of time that it lasted. All right, let's go back. We must be close to the end of our questions. I can't. Okay, so sticking with the spin-offs, Strongbow is good cider. I had that when we were in the city last time, remember? Yeah. And Ed, I'm glad you remember it. He said, totally forgot about OK. I remember collecting some of the cans. They were very collectible. They had pictures on, like, you know, they had stupid sayings and stuff. But Moxie.
I remember RC Cola.
Moxie's a main thing, isn't it? No to OK. All right. So I guess only Ed and I, because we both grew up, we spent a lot of time in Nova Scotia.
Well, and I know
RC Cola,
the one that we used to get in the States, and they still have it. I can't think of the name.
What was it?
It's the pop, but you used to be able to get it in
Shasta.
No, you used to be able to get it in 3-liter bottles.
Oh yeah. I think that's still a thing.
They still have the brand. I don't know if they still have the 3-liter bottles.
Right.
But it we used to go across and buy it for our mixes because it was like this mega bottle.
OK Soda was discontinued. It was made by the Coca-Cola Company in 1993.
That's it. Yes,
Fago.
thank you.
Oh,
Fago
yes.
I do like Fago.
Everybody comes up with an Fresca, Fago, and Fanta all at once.
No, I like the Fago Pop. Yeah.
All right. So we've got another spin-off question for you. So this is a deep dive that I don't know if anybody will know this one either. Does anybody know what show Saved by the Bell originally spun off from? So it wasn't an original show. It actually spun off from a show that happened before. They went back and renamed it to Saved by the Bell the Junior Years, but it's actually was its own show for a season, and then they brought some of the characters up, kind of like they did with Degrassi. Remember Degrassi Junior High? Mm-hmm. Remember before that they had Kids at Degrassi Street? Do you remember that? Yeah. So head of the class, very close, Dowie. I was thinking ahead of Ed Shaw. Oh man, yes, I'm proud of you, Ed.
Now,
I'm glad somebody got.
Miss Bliss was played by Haley. Wasn't she the British lady?
I can't remember for sure
because correct.
Okay.
If it was Haley, I can't remember her last name, but she played in my favorite movie when I watched it as a kid.
I think you're right.
Pollyanna.
Yes.
Pollyanna was my favorite movie, and I can't. It was It's Haley something, but I'm pretty sure that was Miss Bliss, right?
I'm sure now that
she's British.
So Head of the Class was an awesome show. I loved watching it. They did a reboot 2 years ago, just at the time that the guy died. Yeah. So Ed, I'm pretty sure the dude from Head of the Class was on your favorite show there, WKRP in Cincinnati, I think. So we're going to go down this rabbit hole for a minute, but that was cool. Filipino says Crush. So do they have Crush in the States?
Haley Mills. Yeah. That's
Haley Mills. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ed. Yeah.
Now was she Miss Bliss? She must have been.
Billy Connolly. Yes. That's yeah. Billy Connolly was a great Scottish. Or wait, was it? Yeah. He just passed away, right? I'm sure
Who's that?
Did. The main guy from Head of the Class.
Oh, I never watched Head of the Class.
No. Oh, it was a good show. I loved the intro because he was like a professor in, I was either New York or Chicago or somewhere, and he would walk, he'd grab a newspaper, and then he'd sit on the back of the half-ton truck and drive through the city, then get to class just in time.
I never watched that show.
Again, so yeah. Ed, you're gonna love this because Ed used to I'm sure it was you, Ed, that used to post the free turkeys of the helicopter. That was so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, Howard Hessman, that's who it was. Yeah, and he just passed away. I used to get him mixed up with Billy Connolly as well. I don't know why. Maybe they were both. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, okay. Yeah, it was a good show. I liked it. I was young when it was on though. All right, so sticking with Saved by the Bell and spinoffs, what 2 spin-offs came out of Saved by the Bell in the 90s? I watched one of them and I vaguely knew of the other one. Do you remember any spin-offs of Saved by the Bell?
I do, but I don't think I watched them. I like Saved by the Bell, but I
did too. Yeah. I mean, what do you do when they graduate high school? How do you keep the show going, right?
Yeah, so, I wasn't interested in it.
So Saved by the Bell. Anybody remember the 2 spin-offs of Saved by the Bell? And they were good. The one was good. I really liked it quite a bit, actually. College Years. Yes, Amy, you got the first one. Anybody know what the second one was? Screech. Oh, poor Screech. Yeah, poor Screech. He passed away quite a few years ago now. Yep. Yeah, and Screech died. Yep, he stopped screeching. So he didn't take very good. Oh my goodness, Goofy Roofy, hilarious House of Frightenstein. That is another. I think that's a Canadian show as well that most would never. You might remember it. It had like the Wolfman DJ on it, and hang on, it was like a low rent version of the Munsters. And
I never watched
the Munsters. Oh my goodness, hilarious House of Frightenstein. You might speaking of Billy Connolly, there it is, the new class there. So Byron got the other one. All right, here it is right here. If anybody remembers this, how about you can't do that on television? Anybody remember that one?
I remember that one.
Yeah. So whoops, no, that's okay. So why does it keep doing that? Present, stop screen. Here we go, guys. Share screen right here. So does anybody remember? This show freaked me out as a kid. It was so weird. The hilarious House of Frightenstein. You don't remember that?
Not at all.
Wow. Oh, it was funny. It was just so weird. I think it had one of the, there's the guy there, but I think it had one of the famous Universal monster actors in it too, but it was messed up. I thought it was Canadian, but anybody remember it? Saved by the Bell? Yeah. Yes, Alanis Morissette was in You Can't Do That on Television. And you never said I don't know because you got slime on you. But,
I remember that one, but I don't remember this one.
Does anybody remember Barf from You Can't Do That on Television? He was awesome. There he is right there. Anybody remember him? That was bad. He apparently he was a classical actor, but he would like pick his nose and there would be like dead rats. That was awesome.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember? You don't remember him?
I remember the show, but I don't think I ever watched it.
Really? Oh, he was awesome. Barf? It sounded like Barf, right? Now, cut that. Yeah. Frightenstein was Saturday morning, too. Yeah, I remember. Oh, it was good. So there it is. Ed Howard Hessman played Charlie Moore on Head of the Class from 86 to 90. Connolly was only on the show for one season. Okay, so he was in both. There. Hey, babe, they just made your night. Tales from the Crypt.
I love Tales from the Crypt.
You would leave me for what's-his-face, wouldn't you?
Not now.
No, I know. He's ugly. What, Billy Zane?
Billy Zane.
Yeah, when we first met.
He was my dreamboat.
Yep. That's
not now.
Yeah. He didn't age very well, right?
No, he didn't. But in Demon Night, oh, yeah.
I feel bad for Dowie. He didn't have cable, and he had to eat store-brand craft dinner, so that's tough.
That generic, yeah. Imagine sitting in your living room with no TV and eating generic craft dinner. That'd be
know.
like, that's child abuse, man.
That is child abuse nowadays. Yeah. Night, y'all. Homestead, was great having you. What was the Twilight Zone spinoff with Rod Sterling? Oh man, I don't remember. Government Cheese.
Oh yeah, see that's
what
abuse.
Was that? I don't remember that one. Yeah, an old school superhero movie. Oh, Government Cheese. Yeah. All right. So
got one more question.
Yes. Okay. This was a good one, and I thought, what a good one to end on. Of course.
Yes.
So,
well, not really considering who it is. But.
Well, yeah, but you'll get it in a minute here. Yeah, Byron says we should do a watch along of 80 shows. I'd be down for that. Absolutely. What famous actress / model got an early start to her career as Tim and Al's assistant on Tool Time? I thought of that when I was like, yeah, that'll work. I had somebody, what they say? They said I was stealing Tim Allen's name on YouTube one day. I'm like,
geez.
yeah.
Okay.
Down at Fraggle Rock. Down at Fraggle Rock. Pam Anderson. Thank you, Amy Bishop.
Yep.
A Canadian. Yep. Pam Anderson, Ed Shaw, Byron Roberts. There you go. Yep. John Dowie. It's funny how all the men answered quick. It's funny how Amy showed up first and then all the other ones slid in ahead of her. It must be something to do with the timing or whatever. Billy Zane from the Sniper movies. I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah, with Tom Berenger.
Yeah, were they? Yeah. I don't know. That, yeah.
Yep, that was, that's the movie that hooked me line and sinker. And then when he came out with Demon Night and he had the bald head, and I was like, oh boy, here we go.
So I never saw Small Wonder, but was that the one that was like the girl robot? Do you remember Small Wonder?
No.
I don't, yeah. The one with, did a video with Mr. Six. I don't know. And replaced by Debbie Dunning. Yes, that's right. And she was the one that got more well known for the role of, what was her name on Tool Time? She was the assistant. Yeah, it doesn't matter now. But yes, Fraggle Rock. Anybody remember Fraggle Rock? Because I loved it. You didn't?
I know it, but I never watched it.
I liked it so much better
like
than Muppets.
The Muppets, right? Yeah.
Well, it was, but they were better.
They're creepy.
It was a girl robot. Yeah, okay. Zane was also in Phantom with a not yet famous Angelina Jolie. Back in the day, she didn't have to be famous. Didn't matter to me. Oh, man, Gone in 60 Seconds. Woo, woo, woo. Boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
She was a dirtbag in that one, too.
Oh, I know. And 20-year-old me fucking loved her. Oh, man, that was bad. Yeah, now we got Down at Fraggle Rock in her head, right? So Heidi. Yeah, Heidi. That's right. Her name was Heidi. She was the helper on Tool Time.
Oh,
she would just come out in the short shorts with a hammer or something.
I never watched Home Improvement.
Oh, I loved Home Improvement.
Like I would, it was the same type of thing. Like it'd be on and I'd catch like 2 or 3 minutes of it, but I never actually sat down.
It was so popular. Yeah, Stripes.
Stripes.
I've never watched Stripes. So
I watched Stripes.
Yeah, I shouldn't even admit that. I never have. John Dowie will disown me, but
I have watched Stripes.
Jeff said, "What over
and
here?" And
you can go into like that whole spot there, and it was Porky's, Police Academy, Beverly Hills Cop. What was the other one? Those are the ones that we used to watch that everyone thought was so hilarious.
Yeah,
but they weren't funny. Like
Joke Release says, if you're Canadian, my wife says you should definitely know Fred Penner's Place. Do you remember Fred Penner's Place? He used to play music and stuff. It was okay. I didn't love it. I was a little old for the show at the time, but yes, Angelina Jolie in Hackers, also a dirtbag, also incredibly sexy. There's no getting around it back in the day. So, but that was, what was I, 17 when Hackers came out? So yeah, that was the coolest fucking movie ever. Like, oh, we're hacking. You're like, I don't know what that means, but it was cool, So
no.
Aaron says that was a good one, Goofy, when his Home Improvement wife came on. I never watched that show. What was it? Last Man Standing. I heard it was good. That was Tim Allen's last show, I think he did.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
No.
Mr. Dress Up, Sharon, Lois, and Bram. This is great having all these Canadians in here. Dowie says Red Green, isn't he Canadian? Yeah, he definitely Canadian. Yeah. And Fast Times at Ridgemont High, all those 80s films, remember?
Well, Amy and I were talking about them earlier, and my favorite is Heathers.
Yeah, Heathers was pretty good.
Loved Heathers, and I can't remember which ones she was talking about. But it was Heathers, and then we got Winona Ryder movies. That's like Beetlejuice, and
she was also, every boy had a thing for her back in the day too, right? But
Heathers was so good.
Yeah.
It was.
So Jeff just shared over in Telegram
Mermaids, that was the other one.
About the hilarious House of Frightenstein. They made 130 episodes of the TV show. They were filmed in 9 months. I remember reading about that, and then they released it for years. The Craft, you remember The Craft? That had
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, I had a thing for Nev Campbell back in the day too. I know. What are you gonna do, right? Yeah, Goofy.
Death Becomes Her. That's what Gracie was talking about.
Oh,
the one with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn and Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
that's a great movie.
That was okay. I enjoy. Yeah, back in the day, it was pretty. I remember reading that on renting that on VHS. Of course,
yeah, that was
a day.
They just put it on. I think it's on Prime.
Oh, is it?
I think so. I think I've seen it.
I wonder if Charlotte would like that. She might think it was funny.
She probably would. Yeah, it's dated, and it didn't age very well, but it is so funny.
Pump up the volume. You know what I love was White Men Can't Jump. Love that movie.
You like that? That movie was awful.
Oh, I love that movie.
The hole through the stomach. And then he shoots her again, or when she tries to stab her with something that goes through her stomach.
I think Richard Zemeckis directed that. The guy that did Back to the Future. I might be wrong, but he did. Yeah, they did a good job on that. Cousin Vinny. Yeah, that had what's her face in it, Aunt May or whatever. Yeah, we gotta. Eddie Murphy. Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy Raw. Yes. Yeah, but oh my goodness, 14-year-old me when I first heard Eddie Murphy Raw, I was like, I didn't know that comedy could be this funny and this. Yeah, it was awful. But yeah. Gracie says it's on Prime when she falls down the stairs and her head's on backwards.
And then she gets up and tries to walk and she twists her head back around.
I listened to a podcast the other day about White Men Can't Jump, and I'd forgot about Rosie Perez.
Hated that movie.
I thought it was
that movie.
My buddy Jason, I used to stay over in late elementary school. We used to go into, I think it was called the Tri-Corner Cafe, and they had movies to rent there. And I remember renting that, and I loved it back in the day.
No, I don't know. I think it's because I'm not a huge Wesley Snipes fan. But I love Woody Harrelson. But
I heard there was a new White Men Can't Jump, and I heard it was awful, right? And
Richard Pryor. Oh my goodness, do you remember the original Supermans?
Yes.
And the one with Richard Pryor in it. And the only reason why that rang a bell is because I seen it not too long ago, a little clip on TikTok, when he gets fired and he goes back into his job, and they had those great big huge old computers, and he hacks into the payroll system and he changes his paycheck, but it was only to like $10,000 or something. It wasn't very, I can't remember the amount, but it was like such the fraction of a cent scam. It was, and he hacks into that was so great. And
was that Superman 2 or was it?
I can't
3?
remember.
Let's see which one that was. They used it in Office Space.
But it was like the computer was enormous, and he's like punching it in, and it's like all the
Superman 3. At least it wasn't the fourth one. Was it?
I love the original Superman. They're so cheesy, but I did love them.
They were good. I mean, he was the best Superman until Henry Cavill.
Cavill.
Yeah. Office Space is pretty funny. Did you like Office Space? Where's My Stapler, or the Red Stapler or whatever? You remember that came out in like 99. I was just going away to college. It was a big movie.
But that there was so funny. him doing that on the computer and watching it. I was like, yeah, that is so pathetic. It was like, and it's like, there's no way you could even do that, right? Like,
you know what? We should do one of these about once a month, these trivia nights.
Oh, absolutely.
They're a lot of fun. I enjoy 2000s. Yeah, early 2000s. That's right. So, well, what do you think, Mrs. Cook? We've been 2 hours and 40 minutes. We did pretty good tonight. We did.
It's a good one. And I'll tally up everybody.
All right. Oh, 99. Okay, I knew it was close, Dowie.
I got...
hang on.
It's not going to go. Hang on.
I don't know if it'll... Maybe it still won't. It's too bright. What's going on with it?
Let me turn my brightness down.
Y2K Bug was his job. That's right.
There you go. See, I got everybody's scores and tallies here.
And we picked, we might send out a couple of prizes, eh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Some really good retro. Yeah, it'll be, you guys will enjoy the prizes. So we'll reach out probably by Monday. We'll get them tallied up and or Sunday night I'll get mailing addresses and we'll have it shipped out.
And we'll go back through the comments again just to make sure we didn't miss anybody or anything like that too.
Somebody mentioned a watch party. Once winter comes along, we'll do some more workshop watch parties. They were a lot of fun. You'll have to get in on them with us now. And I've got the system figured out so that the sound sounds really, really good. Yeah, we'll see if we can find some fruit-flavored Hostess chips.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh, guys, thank you very much. My voice is actually dry tonight, and usually I can go, 3-4 hours, no problem. But it was a lot of fun. So a flat can of OK soda. Could be like LA Beast, and you could buy. I don't know if anybody watches LA Beast on YouTube, but he got famous for buying an old bottle of Crystal Pepsi, and puked all over his dad's living room.
You know what though? So. He makes himself.
Oh yes, right? LA Beast is friggin' awesome.
There's no way someone has that bad of a reflex that they throw up every time they eat.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the watch parties are good. Yeah, I mean, we'll do them once a month. It'll be fun. The Groundhog Day was a lot of fun. We did Groundhog Day, and then we did the best Christmas movie.
Well, see, that's the problem when you do watch parties with Mr. Cook is that and I don't know if Tracy's still in here or not, but she'll agree.
I think they left.
He always picks shitty movies.
Well,
so
you guys went long. Yeah, we did, Nate. It was awesome. Yeah, but we'll you know what? We will do a group vote, and we'll put up 4 options.
But your 4 options will all be shit.
Can you see, honey? You're number 1. I love you very much. So yeah, Ed Shaw says Cooks. She's a Star Wars fan. Tim, definitely a keeper. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck with her now. So
yeah, I ain't
put too much work into me, right? So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So. I watch a guy eat old MRE. Screw that. Yeah, I love that too. So if I could still find them, I'd send you guys some pick-up pops. That would be a lot of fun. So Mrs. Cook, are you saying it's the Canadian version of Mystery Science Theater 3000? They watch the old shitty movies and then they have the cutouts, the people. Okay. I've showed you. I used to watch it. Yeah. It comes on Thanksgiving every year.
No, it's just Tim. And like we had this talk about at the Thrivalist Fair there, is that Tim has this famous quote where it'll be like, hey, hon, you want to watch a movie tonight? A bunch of people said this movie is great. This movie's got a lot of good reviews. This is everyone's saying this is a great movie. This is a great movie. We'll get about 15 minutes into it, and I'll look at him, and I'll be like, this is like the worst movie ever. So, and this, no. Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll each pick an option, and we'll let the community vote. And then I'll be right, and you'll be wrong, and it'll be fun. So
he has no,
and we won't even let them tell them what whose choices were which. So
lately, his movie picks have been shit. Just saying,
we haven't had time to watch movies.
No, but the ones that we do, this one's really good.
This will be a way to watch them, right? So yes, it'll be really good. So
yeah.
Anyway, folks, I really appreciate you. This was a lot of fun. I love these Friday nights. They're turning into some crazy stuff. So I like that 5-minute rule.
And we'll do a trivia one once a month, and it'll be. It doesn't even have to be on.
That could be anything.
It doesn't even have to be on retro, but it could be just on pop culture. Or anything. Yeah.
Oh, it'll be good. So, well, guys, we appreciate you. We hit 29 live viewers. That's
good.
Pretty close to. I think 31 was one time, but that was when Nicole was on, and we had her channel on here too. So I would say 29 is probably a record for our live stream. So. Nice. Thank you, folks. We appreciate you. We're going to take Saturday evening off like always now.
Yes.
We're going to finish the renovations in the office here, the office/studio, to make it even more soundproof from our little bastards upstairs. He's still in here? Yeah. Angus is sound asleep. So, guys, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.